Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. You want to dance into some voicemails, buddy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. We got a few new ones that were left as of yesterday. It seems like we're getting a ton. I will give you an update on BDM Neil. He's gone crazy with the voicemails.
No, okay.
He's just leaving a lot of them so much that I'm having to weed a few of them out. So I'm just letting you know that, Neil. It's not anything personal. It's just you're giving me a lot of content, and I'm just going to cherry pick now.
Yeah. Well,
right? That's fair enough. I mean, it's not bad that you want to participate.
You egged them
In
on,
fact,
right?
don't stop. Just understand that I'm going to cherry pick them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about Neil and that
fuels it.
That cause. He's like,
Through his ego.
Well, I'll give him
He's
one.
like,
Yeah,
get him!
I'll give him one. Here's
all the
Sounds like
voicemail.
another situation.
Yo, BDM Neil over here again.
Here we go.
I'm excited for Nerd Jock later on. When I get off work, I love listening to me some Nerd Jock. But shout out to EJ. I'm maybe the only person, but hey, keep it going for me. I'm dedicated. But question for Bird Wednesday, though.
Uh-oh.
So, I'm sure everybody's noticed this. Why do eagles build nests on top of, power, the big power towers, the power line towers or whatever, on top of giant light posts? So can we get, some bird facts on that? Why eagles build stuff? Is it, the warmth of the...
No, it's got to be lack of predators, right?
Well, I think...
they're one of the only birds that can get up that high.
Yeah.
They'd be a higher altitude bird than, let's say, a parakeet.
Yeah. Also, they build nests on trees normally.
And that sort of looks like a tree, and birds are dumb.
Yeah, there's that. And I imagine that they want to build their nest on a super high tree, and they think that's a tree or whatever, high platform, whatever, that overlooks the most amount of area so they could see small rodents.
Yeah, they can find
from
their food.
Their perch.
Good call.
And those, normally trees, your view is blocked by branches and the
So these are better than trees.
Yeah.
To an eagle, I can't believe it's not trees.
It's
and
a one-stick tree.
Yeah, they're up there they're like, this is the greatest tree ever, and it doesn't grow any branches.
Yeah. So I could see 360 degrees around my perch.
So eagles hate trees as much as we do.
They just like poles.
Yeah,
or cell phone towers.
Yeah. Eagles are they're pro poles.
Now it's given their wings cancer crazy from the radiation and all that stuff coming out of it.
Cancer eagle is
they're lumpy.
Yeah. Lumpy eagle. You can't fly as good. You're not as aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Christine in our Twitch chat room. By the way, you can watch our show not only on Twitch. I'll give you that URL, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live if you want to watch this live feed that's going out right now, or you can always watch the replays on YouTube. Just find our channel, Tom and Dan Live, like and subscribe. You'll get updated as soon as I put something up. Christine says the heaviest eagle's nest was 2 tons, so it needs to be a really sturdy spot. That makes sense too. I didn't know that.
2 tons?
That sounds insane. It also sounds like fake news, but
no, it's true.
Christine doesn't lie to us. She's a very, very honest listener.
It was 9 feet 6 inches wide and 20 feet deep.
Oh my God.
20 feet deep?
It was in St. Petersburg, Florida.
That's a badass nest. I could have gotten in that, right?
Yeah.
2 tons is like a Honda Civic.
Yeah.
Why?
It's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
That's pretty neat.
Did one single eagle
No, it was a pair of bald eagles.
2 eagles? Well, that's too big. Why do they need it that big?
America.
Wow. I mean, that's
America.
that's what I say about the soccer mom
it's
driving in the
stupid.
SUV.
Yeah.
She's got the double
Why
extended
not?
Escalade. She doesn't have any kids. She's driving around town, burning all the gas.
Yeah.
Eagles are just as wasteful.
Hold on. Well, it makes sense if the eagle bought a 2-ton nest, but the eagle built that
Eagle bought a
with its
2-ton nest.
beaks.
So it's even better.
No, it's stupid.
He built it. No, if
the
I
waste
build
of-
my own SUV, if I built a ginormous SUV, that's worth more than just going out and buying a huge SUV. At least I got the enjoyment of building it, and I created it with my eagle claws.
Yeah, but it's unnecessary. You don't need a 20-foot deep 2-ton nest. It's overkill.
They don't know that.
You wasted your eagle life building a
Maybe they like like doing it.
We're being that
Where
like
is it?
You're
Is
always
gone?
working on your house for no reason.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
Well,
yeah, and
It's a
I've been over
fool's
there.
errand.
I've
It's
been
very
over there when he
American of
says
Eagle.
I've been working on it. I'm like, well, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. I'll
It's
take your
a-
word
he's
for
at
it.
it again.
Gigantic waste of time.
Is it still around? Can I tour it? And will other Eagles use it? Like, if it's there and it's big, can other Eagles move in?
Why did it continue?
This is Tuesday, guys. We can't do this on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right.
Are you out of your mind?
It was in 1963.
Stop
so
it!
The odds
You
of it
stop it!
still being around are.
We can't do this on a Tuesday, or we tear down the whole sanctity that is the daily radio bit.
Yeah. It can't
What are
be,
you doing, Sam? You of all people, the producer, should know
This
this.
is Monday.
Yeah, it can't be Bird Monday. That's
This is Monday.
That's what
Where
I'm saying.
am I? Oh my God!
And by the way, that wasn't me. That was Neil. He brought up the Eagles. So blame Neil.
Neil, and his real name's David. The whole
I know.
world is a sham.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree.
Play one more. Take a
Let's see
break.
what else we got in here.
Good.
If they're all as good as that one, I'm just saying. Hold on to your hats. How about no, that's Neil again. I know that one. How about this one?
Dude, you were talking about, oh, my nose was bleeding like crazy the other day. I've never had a nosebleed in my life. I've, like, been in fights and stuff and, like, got punched in the nose and, like, you stick your finger in there and a little bit of blood. But if, like, blood started pouring from my nose spontaneously, I would freak out because it's never happened to me before. And I'm impressed that you can handle it so well, Daniel. I would definitely panic. That's all.
I'll tell you a story, but I will warn those of you that I'm about to tell a story. I will just be. I'm just giving you I'm firing the shot over the bow to let you know that this is not a not nasty story. It's a gross. It's a little gross.
Stop listening.
Yeah, I mean you don't have to stop. Just turn it down, or if you don't like this kind of stuff, I'm just being a polite broadcaster. I was at a birthday party, I believe, for our good friend Dan Thompson, who gave us the. Remember, he had the sticker for from Seattle. He gave us a sticker that was like Marshawn Lynch or somebody, and he's a good friend of the show. Has been listening for a very long time. I'm at his birthday party, and my nose, like right now with the allergies, gets real dry. I have really, really bad allergies, and I got a nosebleed on the way over there. And I was trying to get it stopped. Normally, once you get it to stop, I believe it is my idea that the nose going in and out of your nasal passages will then kind of dry out that area. It'll crust over. It's probably a tiny capillary or something in there that's bleeding heavily. Your face bleeds a lot because there's so many, just pathways and tiny little, capillaries and veins and stuff that it's a bleeder spot, right?
Oh.
If I can get it to stop with the air, then it'll stop. If it doesn't stop, though, there are times where you can, it'll just go, right? So I got it to stop before I got to his house. But I could kind of feel like it still kind of bleeding, right? It almost is like I got, one nostril to seal up, but behind there, the dam was still pushing blood.
Oh, okay.
And it's just getting, I can feel it. So we're out back, and we're just, drinking beers and, talking and everything, and I'm kind of flicking my nose a little bit because occasionally
It tickles,
you get
yeah.
it's tickling your nose hairs, and I feel like what is like a booger, and I look at it and I can see it's like a blood booger, and I go to pull it out, and when I pull, a golf ball sized clot,
Gross.
I told you, falls out into the grass. Everyone
my
starts
God.
screaming. They're like, he's dead,
Oh.
and then it just starts. I mean.
Like Kill Bill style.
Like fire hose, good, and then I'm running, and he's like, go, and I run upstairs to his bathroom, and blood everywhere.
Oh my God.
In fact, not even 2 years ago, he was remodeling. He's like, I found some more blood behind this thing.
Ew.
Yeah, it
I
was
can't
just
believe you went in his house.
it was just I needed to be over a toilet or it was just terrible. But anyway, so there you go.
Yeah. That but I understand what this person's saying. For a person that
Andrea's in the chat room. Andrea says, I thought his brain was coming out. That's what everybody because when it came out, that scene in is it Total Recall where Arnold has to use the device encoder to pull the orb out of his brain so he can't be tracked anymore.
Yeah. It's
Dude, just like that.
And you and you put it on a rat, then you put the fat old lady's face on it.
And then she's her head starts expanding.
and then you
Tell
throw,
him large Marson. It's like it always
then you throw the head, and then it blows
blows up the taxi cab.
So nosebleeds, because they've been used in movies so many times to anytime like your psychic powers are too strong, or maybe someone hits you with some sort of radiation power, or it's
the one trickle of blood down the nostril
Yes.
or out the earlobe.
yeah. It signifies like something's gone bad.
Yeah.
And it's an easy way to
Yeah.
so
the earlobe is the more mysterious reveal because
Yeah.
it's normally like, how do you feel? He's like, I'm drained. And then he turns to the left and you see it. And then you know.
or like a samurai cuts your skull off, and then right before you die, a little
One
trickle of
trickle.
blood,
Yeah.
then you die.
Where'd that come from?
yeah.
That doesn't happen when you get decapitated.
Anytime any
Like
character,
your head is cut off.
any psychic character, any character that has a lot of wisdom,
yeah.
you know,
or you
like-
think too hard.
and like
You're like, "Ah!"
even like in Frozen, they have those trolls. I wrote this down at my phone to talk about too. I hate Pappy Troll or whatever the one.
I couldn't
The
get
main
through
because
that
they're
movie.
like, yeah, because they go there. They're
Listen
like,
to Pappy.
oh, you didn't like Frozen 2? It's good.
Oh, I thought you meant Trolls. Sorry, I haven't seen Frozen 2 yet.
Oh, Trolls is good
You haven't
too.
seen Frozen 2?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Frozen 2.
Yeah, it's good. But like
Wow.
that Pappy Troll, he's the wisest troll. They're like, he needs to go see Pappy, go see Pappy, go see Pappy. They get him in front of him. He's like, where's the girl? Oh, hold on, I gotta put my. Where's the girl? Let me see if I can see. Yes, she will. I lost it. And it's always that. You
Yeah.
know, like the
One
one
drip
drip of blood. It's always like he's trying hard,
Yeah.
can't say anymore. Pappy, and he
straining.
collapses. He's like, I'm fine. I just need to regenerate.
So
Stupid.
if I had, because I don't get nosebleeds, I've been punched in the nose like this gentleman, and that's bled, but I don't randomly get them. If I just randomly got them, I would think, it's it. This is
Everybody told me when I was going to Vegas that I was going to get nosebleeds. Didn't happen.
dry air.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
When
And-
you and I went, you gotta have it. You don't have it. I already got
Dude,
allergies.
in Colorado next week, it's gonna
Yeah, I get dry.
wreck you.
I get dry.
Yeah.
You got to like
Well,
put
no,
Vaseline in your
Andrea
nostrils.
actually
Sleeping.
prepares for it. I actually breathe better.
With dry air.
Yeah, well, because the allergies are gone. There's no
Yeah,
pollen out there.
Yeah.
So, like, when I get out there, I breathe well. I just have to make sure. I usually take, I think that's what actually Vaseline's for. Like,
Yeah,
just
Q-tip.
lotion. You just put a
Yeah.
little in there and rub it around. You're good to go all day.
You should buy. We'll go to Walmart, buy a cheap humidifier for the room, because when you sleep at night, like we sleep with a humidifier out there, because without that, after day 3 with no humidifier, like your entire sinuses are so dry that they hurt inside. Everything's dry. But we're used to the swamp. You
Yeah.
go out to the mountains, and we're like, they're too
We're
dry.
used to the swamp. We're
Seriously.
used to this dry.
I stayed out there for a week and I did not have that issue.
Yeah,
No?
for some people they get the issue, some people they don't. I actually breathe better
Well, you're
out
in
there.
you weren't in the mountains, right? You're in the
Yeah.
You were in the mountains, oh, okay. Yeah.
And when
yeah.
I was in North Carolina, we stayed on a mountain. Didn't have.
Well, Carolinas are
sure.
very similar to what we have.
I think I think you're not getting as dry.
Yeah, it's not as
air,
dry.
For whatever.
Vegas,
I don't
though,
know
the
that.
desert was dry, and that
Yeah.
the worst
West
part about
Coast
that when
dry.
you and I were out there, we couldn't even enjoy Vegas because it was sand crazy, blowing in our eyeballs, blowing in our nose,
There's a Santa Ana
sand
winds.
everywhere.
Yeah. A sandstorm. We saw it blow in, and they were like, "Oh yeah, once a year the Santa
Oh.
Ana winds come in," and it blew one of the casino doors,
Smashed it, shattered it.
smashed it, and they're like,
They're like,
had
this
caution
happens.
tape
Go
there.
get the extra door. They knew. Nobody panicked.
I mean, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, it is.
How about build your doors differently so
and-
they don't bust open?
And here's something people don't know, and we do have to take a break.
yeah.
Here's something people don't know. It looks exactly like the Mummy.
Yeah.
When it happens, because remember, we stood at the doors of the Palms Casino, you and I, the doors that smashed before
Yeah.
they smashed. We stood there and watched it coming at us like, oh. I mean,
it's
there
like a
could have
big
been
sandstorm.
There could have been a monster there, a tank or something. Like, we don't know. He's like, here it comes, no big deal. Go have a steak.
It's amazing what you get used to if it happens all the time. It's like us and hurricanes. So we're just like,
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
We'll take a little break. We'll come back with more A Corporate Time right after this. It is another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Good morning, Sam. How are you?
Good morning.
Well,
I'm
good
good.
afternoon, I should say, or good night. But we tape these in the morning, so hey, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anything to address before we jump into it, my friend?
If you're a BDM, we hope to see you this Saturday for the BDM only party. Again, you could find out all the information on the app once you sign in as a BDM. or you should have it in your email, or we've been talking about it on the show, or go to the BDM page.
Yep.
Lots of different things, but got quite a party for you guys
Oh
on
yeah,
Saturday.
it's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. We're kind of still putting bows on everything, but yeah, we're excited to see. If you're not a member, sign up. TomandDan.com/registration. Let's do it.
Nerds. Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. What's going on, EJ?
You guys are welcome for having me.
What did he say?
He said that you're welcome for having me.
Oh, so you're doubling down.
Yeah,
Okay, I see.
letting
it. Yeah.
Letting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to someone else before him, and I was saying you're welcome to them and not to Owen. I didn't mean for Owen to hear that at the same time. It's one of those situations where I didn't mean to say that to him.
And
I think that sounds fake.
and then
Fake news.
Yeah,
when
that sounds fake news.
and then, did you know that you'd said something to him that caused them to?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he's going to take that the wrong way. And I'm like, and then I ran away because I.
Oh, that helps. Well, I mean, that's what everybody in America should do. Don't explain yourself. Just run away and let the person come to their own conclusion. That's intelligent.
That'll help the
Yeah,
situation.
that works.
Yeah, it did sound like something you wouldn't have said, EJ.
You know what?
Okay, Mike B, not time.
So,
At least I don't have a voicemail like that. That's good.
what do we got today?
Which one do you want to do first? Nerd or Jock?
Here's the thing. Let's do nerd first because there were some people
Okay.
bitching on the BDM
Oh,
page.
yeah.
They're like, I don't like it.
Yeah, let me talk.
They're like, every time EJ talks about nerd stuff that we're all interested in, Tom makes fun of him, doesn't let him talk.
Wait a
and-
minute, I make fun of that stuff too.
No, okay, I know, but
Like the
but
Pokemon
you're the
stuff.
good one.
The Pokemon stuff is complete garbage. Any comic book movie, complete garbage. I always say that. That's my bit too.
the
Yeah.
guy was like, I want to hear more about Pokemon, and then I'm like, that's fine. I'll respect your wishes, but what are you
Here.
going to talk about?
Here, I
Like,
can
what is
help.
it? It's nonsense.
Let me help
I'm
trim
doing it
down.
again.
Let me help trim down Nerd a little bit. No one cares about Black Widow. There, done. Trimmed it
I'm going
down.
to.
But like, what do you talk about Pokemon? Like, how much could you talk about it?
There's not infinite Pokemon.
There's nothing. I mean,
There's 8 generations, so I think there's like over 800 of them. So it would take a while just to list each one off. It would take us about.
They're
an
not
hour.
even real.
but does someone want to hear that? Like, I don't understand what kind of
Yeah,
content
I
do
mean,
you
if
want?
we get to a point where we need to filibuster and we need you in here to read all 800 names of the Pokemon, we can do that.
I would love to hear Tom do the Poke Rap, or Dan do a version of the Poke Rap in Tom's voice would be fantastic.
I'll put that on my list.
What is the Poke Rap?
Where they listed all 152 of the original Pokemon. You ever
We're
watch
not
the
here
anime?
to get into trouble. We're just here to do the Pokemon show. Come on, get out of here with that
You're
garbage.
mixing the Chicago Bears and
No, but I mean, it's gonna be corny. It's like, then you got Pikachu, Electric Tail. Everybody knows he can kill a whale if you shock them, and it's gonna be fun catching Pokemon all day long with my son. I don't know. It's just gonna be
It's
stupid. It's stupid.
We're doing it
All right,
again.
well,
so
since we're talking about Pokemon Go, they canceled the Safari Zone that I was going to in St. Louis.
Yeah! Good.
I'm not too happy about that.
Did you get
It
your
cost
money
me,
back?
Well, that's the thing. They are doing you can play the Safari Zone wherever you're at version of it. So, like, even though I bought a ticket for St. Louis, it'll be valid for here in Orlando as long as I log in during the time of the Safari Zone here.
Safari
But
Zone?
it cost me like $79 in my airfare because the cancellation fee was $79.
Oh, they're not gonna reimburse people for that.
No, like the airfare, I used Frontier, which was really cheap tickets.
Right,
But
right. That
you
makes
get what
sense.
you pay for. So there you go. Yeah, and my hotel they refunded me the money, so that was good.
Let me ask you guys
Nice.
a question.
I'm glad you got some coin back, man. That sucks.
because I'm not 100% certain of the plan of action, and I don't know if anybody is, but so basically by canceling all these events, they're hoping to slow down the spread, not that this will stop it. This will slow it down until they get a vaccine, and that's what the plan is.
Or weather could change, or
Steve-
because certain they have said that certain I don't want to use the, either big viruses like the pandemic, stuff like that, can burn out if you get to different type of weather conditions, I guess, or seasonal aspects. I don't really know that much about it.
It would start back up similar to like flu season, even though it gets to the summer. Yeah.
That's above my pay grade.
I'm just wondering what the long-term plan is, because I know they're canceling big gatherings, but that's just to slow it down. They can't. I mean, it's not like then, all right, we could do it again next year. It would still be here next year, right? Or could this?
Yeah, there's always going to be infectious diseases no matter what event you're throwing on. Like, because they have two more. Like, there's one supposed to be in Liverpool in April, and then the one I'm going to in Philadelphia is in May. But those are still on. And I'm thinking about buying a ticket just to the Liverpool one, because if they do the compensation of being able to play here with the same stuff, it might be worth the $20 even if I lose it or not.
Yeah, I would say it is.
It's just as bad.
I would do it.
It's just as bad in Europe and all across the world. Like the public gatherings, they're just running into the same problem, right? Or I don't know what.
Yeah,
what the logic is.
Coachella and stuff like that as well.
Well, they did South by Southwest is canceled.
In Miami.
Yeah, like large gatherings. But is it just they're doing it now until summer? I guess there's no one really knows.
There's a hard date. I think they're just gonna try and see if it simmers down, right? Because the more people you have, the more you're gonna get people. Like mass amounts of people are gonna get sick at the same time.
Yeah.
And you're trying not
to spread it so rapidly.
You just don't want everybody sick at the same time. Because like Juan said in the Twitch chat room, we just really hurt and collapse the healthcare system if they're,
Yeah. No,
and then you're carriers, and you could potentially get someone sick that has a weak immune system.
Yes, but is they can't just keep stopping giant public gatherings indefinitely. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't.
This is how it ends, guys.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, it can't be a long-term, like, hey, we're not going to do any more public gatherings. Like, they have to, the economy has to keep going. So I'm just wondering what they're doing it now, which is fine, and I understand, like, public safety and, why they're doing it, but it's like, what about public gatherings in the summer or throughout the year?
Well, I think they're hoping, and Juan in our Twitch chat room is giving some pretty decent. So is Christine, information about how you might develop an immunity by then, or maybe a vaccine could be produced by then. I mean, and maybe they don't have enough information. So that as much time as you can humanly get, right, is smart.
Yeah.
So they're just doing it until
There may not be an end. We're just doing it right now to slow it down to get information. They may not even have a cutoff date, or maybe they do. I would imagine it's kind of, we're just going to take it case by case and do our best until we figure something out. I don't think they know.
Gotcha. Yeah. This is playing by
ear.
So
because a lot of places they're limiting it to like 1,000 people. If anything more than that, you're not allowed to assemble. But in the United States, because it's protected by the First Amendment for freedom of assembly, they can't limit that in the United States. So, it becomes self-policing in the United States.
Well, yeah, and then just events backed by corporations, they're just leaving it up to the corporations to do that. All right, what do we got next?
Well, okay. Did you hear the story about Ding Talk, an app that they were using in China?
No.
Okay. So in Wuhan, China, they have everyone quarantined in their homes, and no one's going to school. So they're using this app called Ding Talk to send homework to the students at their houses. And turns out the students found out that they were using this, so they all gave it 1-star review, so it got pulled from the App Store, so they couldn't get any more homework while they were at home.
That's genius.
That's funny.
Effing brilliant.
Now,
well done, Chinese youth. That is well done.
Like in the United States, every school now has the direct contact through email. The teachers have the parents' emails, and that's how you can.
Everything has a portal now.
Yeah,
Jump in the portal.
You can get all that stuff.
Some kind of electronic way they can get in contact with either the teacher or the school.
By the way, does every day? I don't know if you deal with this, Daniel, but every GD day has to be some sort of theme or some sort of week,
Yeah, we
Dr.
did it today.
Seuss week, dressing green. Like, why? Why does every day have to be something? Like,
War on Fun. We did it today. We did it today.
But
Today's
why?
Pete the Cat Day.
no, why though?
And Maisie dressed
I'm
up
a
like
Tom. It's too much.
Yeah,
Maisie
I-
dressed up like Pete the Cat.
I gotta check the
fun.
email every single day.
Well,
to,
you don't have to. Just send your kid to school and let him be the kid that gets made fun of because
Yeah,
his
but I
parents
want-
don't care enough.
no, it's just why does every day have to be something?
It's a little bit much.
Yeah. I mean, I understand like once one
Once a
week,
quarter.
or whatever.
You're
like,
just mad because both of you guys would let your kids not dress up like Pete the Cat.
It's just
I
I'm,
do it, but
I'm like it's Green
too
Day.
much.
Why? Like you just go to school.
Learn something.
Well, just look like Billy Joel instead. Billy Joe.
No.
No, I'm just saying it doesn't have
You
to.
just can't look at it.
You said Billy Joel and you ruined your own
Yeah.
joke.
I know. I meant Billy Joe. God. Usually my wife wears a Green Day outfit when we have sex, though. It kind
Oh
of
my
What
God.
is happening? Goodbye, sir. That's when we hang up and end the
I don't
call.
even know what that means.
Well, speaking of which, my wife's MyCon was a huge success. There was like 1,600 people there.
That's a
Wow,
lot,
that's
dude.
awesome.
Wow.
Congratulations, man. And please pass that on to her. That's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
It was fantastic. Like we had a Smash Brothers tournament, and that room was full.
Oh, I bet.
It was crazy how full that was. Yeah,
God,
and they were doing karaoke as characters, which was really fun to watch.
We should do a con.
We need to get in the nerd business.
No, we should do a con about cons.
Okay. Yeah.
Come to the con. Tell us about your favorite con.
Con.
Panels about cons.
Nerds aren't really into cons though.
Yeah, they love cons.
Do they?
Yeah, cons about cons.
Yeah,
The
King Con.
any
cons.
opportunity
It's
for
a
them
monkey.
to dress
Let's
up
do
and
a
cosplay,
monkey
you'll get tons of
convention
people to
called
go.
King Con.
Okay.
We're gonna have Samantha dress up in a dress, and then we'll have EJ swatting at planes. Scoops her up.
Oh yeah, calling me fat the other day to make sure that Tom's kids don't get big like me. That kind of hurt my feelings.
Who said that? I said that?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I don't remember saying that.
Yeah, yesterday.
Well, I mean, obesity is an epidemic.
So
I know I'm getting fat. I cut out soda, so I'm trying to do my best.
Good, man.
And a bunch of people talked about the combine from last week, and I was really embarrassed about that.
No,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
had to make some life changes.
Oh, man, I'm
What's your
sorry.
life change?
I was golfing with Corey from All Pro because
Yeah.
he sponsors that tournament out there, and all hit like him and his buddy that play college football. They're all laughing on you, just making
Oh, of
fun
course
of
they
your
were.
running.
They didn't laugh at you?
No, I mean they laughed at me too, but they laughed
Well,
mainly at
he's
EJ.
immune to it by now.
Yeah.
He's the Black Widow of being laughed at.
I
No
mean,
superpowers, but is okay with it.
mainly just EJ and oh, it was so good.
How slow I am and out of shape I am.
yeah.
Norm wants to know how your
speaking
burpees are going.
Actually, I got back up on doing the push-ups and the crunches and
Good.
the squats. So
That's
I have
awesome.
to get back in doing that. Yeah, I'm just drinking unsweet tea. I have to have some kind of flavor, but no soda, just water and unsweet tea.
Okay, that sounds good.
Speaking of keeping myself alive, Max von Sydow passed away this year at 90. Do you guys know who that is?
I saw the alert come through, didn't recognize the name.
He's Father Merrin from The Exorcist, and he's also was in Game of Thrones.
Oh
he was
yeah.
Emperor Ming and Flash Gordon. He's
okay.
in tons of stuff. He was in Judge Dredd, the Sylvester Stallone one. He was in Minority Report, Shutter Island. He's in tons of stuff. Like, you know the actor, you just don't know his name.
You know what's a weird phenomenon where an
He's in
actor.
Force Awakens.
Well, when an actor, and I'm guessing this guy's probably now. Sometimes people start out later in life, but this guy's probably been an actor his whole life. But we only know him for like his old man
Yeah.
roles, like the priest. Of
Yeah,
Exorcist.
he was old in 77 when in The Exorcist.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
Father Merrin.
True.
He was old then. And then he was in Star Wars Force Awakens, and he just passed away at 90, so.
Wow.
So there's certain actors that are more famous for their old man acting than their young man acting, and then there's vice
Yeah, like
versa.
Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
So better to get into acting later. You don't get screwed up. If you get into it early, then you get put between two trailers, and then somebody pours Crisco in your butt.
That's the documentary right now. Last night, I should have brought that
Wow.
up.
If you even want to call it that, we're gonna talk about that.
apparently it was
on a different show. We're
it was
gonna
a mess.
kick that one around.
You have to do that uncensored for sure, right?
I mean, I think it'd be better to, but who knows? We'll be creative about
Yeah.
it. What else you got?
Let's talk about Kids in the Hole. Were you guys a fan of that when you were younger?
Yeah.
I used to love Kids in the Hole.
Yeah, I actually
they're
went
bringing it back on Amazon Prime.
I went to see them live when they did their tour here in Orlando. It was really good.
Yeah, like Crushing Your Head and Leadfoot Guy.
The
and
Chicken Lady. Yeah, I mean, I remember all of that. I enjoyed it. Was very weird, very odd, quirky, stand-up,
Canadian,
sketchy comedy, and I always enjoyed it.
I never got into Kids in the Hall for whatever reason. It was like either
it's a little weird.
I was on the cusp of being too young.
Yeah, you're a little too young.
Or
even I was a little too young. I kind of would watch it and dabble in it. I wouldn't say it was one of my absolute favorite shows, but there were certain sketches that I really thought were funny.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I think too young.
Yeah.
So what's up with Kids in the Hall?
They're bringing
back.
Yeah.
They're coming back on Amazon Prime. They're having a whole season on Amazon Prime.
So are they
I'm looking forward to that.
redoing it, or new episodes, or like the replaying the old stuff?
No, they're doing new episodes.
No,
and
it'll never
did
work.
The entire cast come back for it?
It seems like it. Like Scott Thompson, Dave Holey, Kevin McDonald. Yeah,
okay.
It looks like most of them are coming back.
I have this theory that there's certain shows that are very popular during certain like time capsules, like certain periods where the exact culture is perfect for it. Society is in the right place for it, like the right time, and it can never be replicated at a different time because it just was that time and that time alone.
Have any of the revamped shows actually been as popular as back with the original? Like, there's Girl Meets World now. There's Fuller House.
None of them.
None of them, right?
Yeah.
No, none of them really go.
And why even do it?
And
bring it back for one season.
Well, going with even what EJ's saying, and we had these guys in, a couple of weeks ago, but even like the reboot of all that, just did not.
That's a little different to me because there's actually new kids and new talent.
Yeah,
and it's
no,
just
I
a
can
sketch
see that.
show.
Well, but they also are they're not counting out the old guys because they're bringing them in.
Yeah.
So I just feel like maybe just do a different version, and
but even that, I think people like demand it, and then like you're like, you want this, and everybody's like, yeah, we want it, but they're remembering what they when they liked it.
That's that nostalgia factor that everybody's saying we are kind of we're kind of enmeshed in it now, right? I mean, everything relies on nostalgia now. Like so many of these tours,
yeah, like Stranger Things. The Mandalorian has nostalgia because it's Boba Fett.
And it probably has always been that way. I just feel like actors and producers and writers and creators have hidden that fact from us. There was a time when a show like Stranger Things, let's say 20 years ago, if it came out, of course it had influences from, like, let's say the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, right? But they weren't so blatant about it.
Yeah.
Now, like, the subtle nods, the camera, the music, the styling, now they just shove it down our throats, because they're I don't know. I just feel like this has always happened. It's just so much more.
Yeah, like Pulp Fiction and Guardian of the Galaxy. Like whenever you use like the
Pulp
soundtrack,
Fiction
get that nostalgia. Yeah.
Pulp Fiction relies on nostalgia. Like a lot of these stylized movies rely on that kind of thing. But now I just feel like it's so much more open.
Yeah, I think society doesn't care that you borrow. It's like almost like, remember when sampling, like people, there's a big uproar with using samples from other songs.
Yeah.
People were like, oh, you can't do that. Like a stupid Ice Ice Baby. There was a huge lawsuit, and like, oh, it's like,
What do you think of that new Vanilla Ice track?
The country rap.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Remember the guy that you loved? What was his name? Fortunato Blow?
I forgot his name.
Fortuna Blow, whatever the guy's name is. He's a little guy, tatted up.
Fortuna?
Yeah.
Toonie Blow.
Toonie Blow's at it again with Cowboy Troy and Vanilla Ice called Ride the Horse.
No, okay. All right.
It's a giant steaming pie, and it's good. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Which one's better, Corey Feldman's new song or Vanilla Ice's new song?
Vanilla Ice's song is better. Vanilla Ice's song will get played occasionally. It's straight up country rap. It's no different than he is trying to capitalize on. Well, no, he's trying to capitalize on Little Nas X.
Old Town Road.
But that guy's authentic and comes off genuine. This comes off as a blatant stylized money grab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do we got for sports?
To Jock now?
Yeah. Let's jock it up.
All All right, you guys ready for March Madness? Are you guys going to do brackets this year?
That's a big no from me.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know enough about college basketball. I don't follow college basketball. I have no idea. So everybody wants to do brackets.
99% of the population, too. Like, no one really keeps paying attention until it becomes March Madness and you get the bracket. And usually you just fill it out by you pick a couple upsets, but you don't, like, go crazy and say, oh, a 15 seed is going to be a 2 seed.
But to me, if I don't know anything, then it might as well be the lottery, right? I'm just picking stuff based on no knowledge whatsoever. Like, looking at teams like, hey, he's a favorite, I'll go for the underdog. Like, that to me is like, it's just nonsense. Yeah. It's filling out a lottery ticket, picking a Powerball number, totally random.
Yeah, I'm not. I've never really been into March Madness, and I always feel bad because the guys that I know that are really into it have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not
into
it.
It's fun to go watch the games. Like, usually they're on during the day. So, you go on your lunch break and you watch, like, most of the game, and then you come back and you find out if your bracket's still intact or not.
Now,
or, there's a huge upset that breaks your whole bracket and you're screwed and you're out of the tournament.
EJ, have you heard if there are going to play some of these games without audiences?
I've been hearing a lot of soccer games, especially in Italy and Greece. Well, that's the other story I have. Yeah, like the Olympic torch lighting in Greece, they limited to 100 dignitaries. That's it. There's no fans were allowed to be at the Olympic torch lighting. That's supposed to. The Olympics are in Japan this year, right?
Well, they're supposed to be, and there have been talks about whether they were going to cancel them or postpone them or
push them back. Just like the plot of Akira, because the same thing happened in Akira in the 2020 Olympics that were supposed to be in Japan were postponed or canceled because of the virus.
Now, you could still do the Olympics without crowds, and you could just televise them because the television rights are what's worth the most,
It's what's worth the money, yeah. That's why, like, when players like the NBA, like LeBron James says he's not going to play if the coronavirus is that bad. I'm like, dude, just play the games with no fans there. Most of your money's from the television rights.
Yeah. And who knows what the hell's going to happen? I guess we're all just sitting there waiting day by day to find out what the hell's going on. But as far as March Madness goes, I did hear, and I talked about this a little bit, some interesting gamblers' perspective about playing some of these games without an audience. And tell me if you think this logic is true, that if you played a game without an audience, the favorite actually has an advantage because in some of these games when the underdog starts coming back or starts winning, the audience gets behind them and then it shakes the favorite and then they start playing off because the crowd is into the underdog. So it actually shifts the game.
Playing in a silent stadium would be really off-putting. Like, you're used to that, like, noise and stuff like that, and being silent or just hearing the noise of the basketball and the referees and just breathing would probably throw so many players off.
I think the favorites would have the advantage, though, in that aspect, just because they would just be able to play their game. If they got down, the crowd wouldn't be going crazy.
Yeah, I wonder if EJ's onto something here, because if you think about it, that white noise of the crowd there might be something almost comforting to you if you're a basketball player.
You're used to it.
So you're hearing like this, almost like for lack of a better term, this drone, right?
Yeah.
That's like pumping in your ears, and it's comforting to you. You take that away, it's almost like me sleeping without having white noise. It's not gonna work. Don't ever do that again, EJ. It's disgusting.
The only counter logic to that is these guys practice more than they play.
Correct.
And when they practice, they're in silence. So technically, they have more experience playing in silence than they do with a crowd, because that's only going to be game day. I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch what the hell happens.
But counterpoint to that, there's not as much pressure in practice as there is in games, so you're not. It's a totally different scenario.
Yeah. It throws everything off, and the only advantage I see is gambling. Other than that, it's a sad state of affairs.
It's also the only thing you see. So I mean,
yeah,
I'm with you.
The other thing I have is the locker rooms for the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and a lot of soccer. The media is not allowed to come into locker rooms anymore because of the whole epidemic or whatever.
Huh.
which I think they should do that anyways. Like, why are they allowed to come in locker rooms? Like, if you guys want to talk to me, just meet me in a conference room.
I got to tell you, EJ, I agree with you. I always found it to be very weird when I was going to the Orlando Magic, the old TD Waterhouse Center.
Yeah.
When I was going there to cover anything for a sister station or just because I could, going in the locker room is an odd thing. It's very odd. Yeah. Like, I've been in the Magic locker room.
It's like a violation of privacy, but because they're famous, it's okay.
Yeah,
Which doesn't make any sense.
That is where I world famously saw Dominique Wilkins' donger. And I was
hanging out the bottom of his towel.
I mean, and that man, let me just say, because we are on radio, he has a lot to be proud of. And it was weird. It was like, that was the last time I did it. Not because that kind of stuff weirds me out. I'm not a homophobe at all. It's just, you know what? Dominique Wilkins deserves to be able to change without having some peckerwood with spiked up bleach hair try to interview him. You know what I mean? Like, nah, you don't need to be in there.
That reminds me of something I never talked about that I saw after the Super Bowl. They were like, of course, a media frenzy in the locker room, and they're following Patrick Mahomes. And they're interviewing him, and everybody's like celebrating, whatever. And in the background, maybe like 7 feet behind him, is some real man lineman that's taking his pants off. And then he's just standing there, and nonchalantly. By the way, like there are probably 30 cameras
Was
and
he
media.
powdering it up?
And no, like it's after the game, after they won the Super Bowl. Like he's dead faced, taking his like football pants off. He's in his boxers, but like he's right behind Patrick Mahomes, and then I'm like, look at him, he doesn't even care. Like he is so desensitized and used to this that after winning the Super Bowl, he just nonchalantly taking his pants off in a room with 30 cameras. Right behind the camera, Pat Mahomes is doing an interview, and the guy's in his like compression boxers. Like you could see the outline of his bell end, and doesn't give a damn. And I'm like, that's a real man. I'm like, I turn around when I'm at a regular Planet Fitness, just facing the other way because I'm trying to, I'm not brazenly, taking my pants off.
I wish you were at my Planet Fitness.
You're not peacocking in there for sure.
Yeah, at mine the guys are always doing
I got over
the
that
lunges.
real quick.
I don't go to
at Miami. I got over that real quick. Like you had to just be used to it.
You may not go to Planet Fitness, but do you go to Crunch, bro? I figured out why you've been making Crunch Fitness jokes. It's subconscious.
Okay.
Coming out of where you live on the left-hand side, if you're going towards the car wash or towards downtown Altamont, there's a giant Crunch Fitness sign like right by your house.
Oh yeah.
It's huge.
They've been doing like
Crunch. You even crunch, bro?
They set up promos at Wawa.
Crunch.
Yeah. And I'm like, just call it what it is. A $10 subscription that fat people forget about. That's your business.
Talking about BDMs.
No, it's called Crunch.
It's like subscribe, $10 a month. You'll forget about it. You'll never come.
Also,
that's
I think
what I call it my BDM.
You're also like, I also like how you named it after
Crunch,
the best tasting food, like Star Crunch, Crunchy Chips, Crunchy Cookies, Crunch.
Star Crunch.
Don't Star Crunch, Nestle Crunch. Don't name it Crunch.
Oh yeah. Just name it Taco Bell. Make a gym called Taco
Crunch
Bell.
Wrap.
Yeah. All right, EJ, is that it?
Yeah, the other thing I had was the free agency starts on March 18th for the NFL, so we're wondering where Tom Brady's going to end up is the big question this year.
He's going to end up back in New England.
Yeah,
it seems like they're going to upgrade the receivers to keep him, it sounds like.
Yeah, I can't imagine another play.
He needed to make a big deal to get New England's attention, so they try to get him some players around him. Because last year, I mean, think about how close they
They have a good shot next year.
They made it to the playoffs. Yeah. Their defense is incredible. They just need some better wide receivers and better weapons.
Deep threat is what they were missing. They had that for all their years. They've won championships, and this is the first year they didn't because the Antonio Brown debacle.
Yeah.
So.
Tobacco.
But you remember when
Don't say tobacco. You were thinking of Taco Bell, weren't you?
I'm so hungry right now.
I want a tobacco.
I am hungry. Oh, it's killing me.
All right.
On that note, come see me March the 30th at Other Bar. I'll be hosting, and that's the only other plug I have because there's another MyCon next year.
All right.
Cool,
well,
EJ.
well,
great job. Tell
good.
Congratulations again to your wife, man, and we'll see you next week, Tobacco.
Yeah. sorry to Owen. I didn't mean to say you're welcome.
Okay, I still think you're lying.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
It's a war,
Yeah,
Owen.
it's
Take it as an
Warren,
insult.
take him out. Warren, I think you know what to do. He is. We're not gonna stand for that.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Again, if you're a BDM, make sure if you didn't get the invite for whatever reason, check your email or the app, sign in, because we have a BDM only party this Saturday.
If you don't know what that is, BDMs are our very, very super special subscribed members. They get private parties, extra shows, different benefits throughout the year. They have all kinds of different subgroups. They throw their own parties. If you're not a member, go to tomandan.com/registration, sign up, use the love meter, decide how much money you want to kick in, and there you go. You'll have a lot of fun.
Yep, and all the free parties, you get to bring a guest with you. So it's you and a guest, and as long as you're a BDM, it's free for you.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go.
Weird job on Wednesday. 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 On Wednesday. What is your job? What is your job? Are you a ritual or are you a fat slob? Tom Van wants to know your job. Are you a disgusting slob? Slob! Big fat slob! Tom Van wants to know your job. Are you a disgusting slob? Slob! Disgusting slob!
It's not needed. You know, it's not. You know, it's rude to people.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by, go ahead and plug SixFlagsMulch.com, Six Flags Mulch in Longwood. If you're looking for mulch, rocks, soil, pine straw, they got some water features now at SixFlagsMulch.com. We got Justin on the line. How you doing, Justin?
Good. How you doing?
So, Justin.
Hey, thanks for being patient enough to sit through that.
Yeah.
All right. I like that one.
What is your job, Justin?
So I used to run the jewelry department for a chain of pawn shops in Florida.
Yeah. Awesome.
So it was by far the weirdest job I've ever had for two reasons. Because I had no idea what I was doing, and it was a crazy company to work for.
All right. Let's start from the basics. So jewelry, I'm guessing a big thing in pawn shops, correct?
Oh, massive.
Now, you would think that like the cash for gold places and stuff like would take a lot of the business away from pawn shops. Is that when you were working there? Did you find that to be the case, that people were going for cash for gold instead of a pawn shop deal?
Not so much, because the price of gold fluctuates so much. So like when I worked there, it was like 99, 2000 when I first started, and the price of gold was much lower, and the cash for gold stores weren't really around a ton. But like a lot of people they don't really shop around and find out like what the actual price they're buying it for. They just like, give them their gold and they're like, we'll give you this amount. They're like, oh, that sounds amazing. But it's all based on the weight and like what type of gold it is.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, they did that I went with my mom one time. We had a bunch of broken earrings and she was like, I'll just use this cash for gold thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is stupid. And then we went there. And like it was actually like fully legitimate. Everything made sense, and it was like
they just weigh it out. And
they were just like, it's this gold. This is the price for it, and here's your money. She made a lot of money off of just earring backs, broken little charms, the necklaces she doesn't wear anymore. It's pretty cool.
So let's walk through the process of pawning some jewelry at a pawn shop. First,
you have to work your way up. You have to like be the boombox guy for a little while, and then you work your way to Xbox games. Yeah, then you get
Justin's on DeWalt drills.
Yeah.
First 2 weeks.
You idiot! Get over there and wipe down those bikes, or there's lawnmowers that don't work, or something.
Yeah, so I didn't know anything about jewelry, and I just happened. My roommate at the time was the manager of one of the pawn shops, and one of my other roommates worked at one of the other pawn shops. And it's like I was waiting tables at night, and I didn't have anything to do during the day.
That's a classy duplex.
Yeah, so I was just like, hey, I come work at your I come work at your pawn shop, and I happened to be working there. And then the guy that was running like the jewelry department at the time, he's like needed an assistant. So he's like, hey, you want to come be my assistant? And I didn't know anything about jewelry.
Want to be my assistant? That's an upgrade, right? It's like come right to be the assistant position.
Yeah, I just got lucky. He befriended the store manager, and we went golfing one day, and then he offered me the job, and so I kind of learned it through him. But he ended up getting fired for stealing.
No,
and I'd only been there like 6 months, and they basically kind of handed me the keys type of deal, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Wait a minute. You had the keys to the pawn shop?
No. Like to the whole jewelry department. It was like 80 stores at one point.
Because for a split second, I was like, how many times has a young porn star walked in and you've locked the door and told her that? Yeah, everyone's seen it.
Clean up your back room.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
But yeah, no, the pawn shop I worked for was a little different because a lot of people don't know that, like, so when you go to a pawn store, there's two different things you can do. You can sell the stuff, which means the store can turn around and sell it in 30 days, or you could pawn it, which means you want it back. So the store, if you don't make any payments, the store has to wait 90 days to put it out for sale. And the store I worked for really wanted people to get their stuff back, and that was kind of their big business model. You had to wear a shirt and tie. You couldn't wear khakis or a polo. They didn't do firearms. It was all like real jewelry
I'm
heavy.
sorry, Justin. I wasn't paying attention because I was thinking about that Latina cop in the Palms.
We get distracted easily. We're very horny.
I'm starting to doubt if that is actually a police officer because now that I think about it, it looked like her belt was plastic, and she didn't have a firearm or anything in the actual utility belt. And then she takes her pants off.
Her shirt, I've seen the one you're talking, and the shirt, it says
polyester.
Officer, and then underneath it says nasty gal. It is it's spelled with a Z, nasty gal, Officer Nasty Gal.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's
a family name.
That's not a real police officer. That Latina, she's just wearing a costume.
Look here. I like the one where it's call your mom because you were shoplifting. Then the mom comes and you're like, look, guys, I can either call the cops or you both can get naked together as a mom and daughter and we can handle this like good Americans.
They don't even look like each other.
And you're both the same age.
She's adopted.
Is that even possible?
So, sorry, Justin, back to the...
And don't lift your arms. I can see your implant scars.
That's okay. So I didn't actually work in the store. The stores would call me up, like if somebody brought in a big diamond or a Rolex, and I would talk to him on the phone, and we were trying to figure out if it was a real diamond, a fake diamond, if it was a real Rolex or
Wait,
not.
you don't know anything about it, but you had to figure out if it was a real or fake diamond?
I learned a lot in like 6 months, but like when they fired this guy, they basically divided like his territory between the three of us, like me and two other people, and then those people got fired, and then I was in charge of everything. And I was like 22, 23 years old at the time, and I just, I learned my way through it, but at the time I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah, I imagine most pawn shop businesses are basically, it's whoever's left, like you there with the mop. You know anything about just Google diamonds, you'll find it. You'll figure it out.
Uh-oh.
So how did you verify if you didn't know anything about jewelry or about... how to spot a fake? Did you use the internet for most of this? Like, how do you know?
Well, I learned our pawn shop was a little different. A lot of pawn shops, they'll deal like the jewelries, the Rolexes, everything. They do it kind of internally, But this pawn shop, they were trying. So a lot of diamond dealers will go to pawn shops and they'll buy stuff that's underpriced and then they'll resell it.
Yeah.
And so they were trying to avoid that. So they would send anything that somebody might be interested in to the corporate office in Castleberry, and so that we would have all that stuff. We would invite all the
corporate
diamond
pawn
dealers.
shop office in Castleberry.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, everyone, pause a second for my own love. And oh man, everybody just hold for a second so I can just soak this up. Okay.
So then they would invite all the diamond dealers there, and they would bid on all this stuff. And so I got to see all this stuff when it came in, being this guy's assistant. And so I learned a little bit, but this guy had been doing it like 16 years, and I was doing it for like 6 months. And so when they got rid of him, like you said, I was kind of the only person left standing. I knew more than a lot of the store managers, but I still didn't know as much as the guy they just let go of. And so they just kind of were like, all right, it's your thing now. This is what you got to do.
So
you're the man now,
Justin. What's the rule? Okay, so walk me through this.
Yep.
I come into the pawn shop.
Yep.
I have a ring, right, and
Yep.
it looks like a wedding ring or whatever.
Uh-oh.
And
What happened?
And I'm like, I want to pawn this because
God, one day we're soapy butt, the next day we're pawning the ring.
I also
You guys got to get it together.
that came in yesterday, by the way. I'll tell you all about it. But,
no.
So I look at it like, this is absurd. No, like this, no one does this. And then
Well, Charlie Sheen does in his bathroom, but I mean,
so no, yeah. So anyway, I walk in with a ring. First, are you obligated to hold it for a certain amount of time, or
Yes.
catalog it in case it's stolen? Like
Yes.
how do you deal with a potential stolen item, and how then do you price my wedding ring appropriately if I show it to you? Like, what's the process?
So the biggest thing is, first I got to figure out if I think you want it back or you want to sell it. So I'll ask first. Were you wearing it when you came in? And if you're wearing it when you came in, that's a good sign that you want it back. So if you pull it off your finger, then I'm also going to ask you like how much you're looking for. And if you just say you don't have a dollar amount, because a lot of people that would pawn stuff would have a dollar amount in mind because they had some sort of bill they had to pay. Whereas they just say, I just want to get the most money I can. And then I would say, well, are you trying to get the most? Do you want this back, or do you just want the most money you can? And most people would say, I just want the most money I can. So then I know I'm going to own it. So there's a different process where I'm going to try to resell it. But if I think you're trying to get it back, I'm going to try to get you as close to that amount that you want as I can, because I'm going to get 25% interest when you pick it up. So I can I loan you $100, and then 30 days from there you come and give me $125. You can have it back. But all I did was take your ring, set it in the safe, take it back out, and I made 25%. So it's a different process depending on what I think you're going to do with it.
So okay, this is interesting. So when you're like estimating the price of the jewelry, it's not even like you're researching the size of the diamond or the price of gold. You're basically basing the price off of whatever the dude or girl wants, and that's what the price is going to be, rather than what the damn thing is worth.
Well, no, within reason. Like if you bring in something that I think, okay, like say you wanted $100, and I really think you're coming back. I was like, I can give him $100 because I think I could probably sell it for, let's say, $130, right? Because it's a gamble. I'm gambling that you're coming back. Whereas if you were trying to sell it to me, pawn shops, nobody buys retail in the pawn shop. Whatever the price is, they say what's the best you can do on that, and it goes down. So I'm going to try to buy it like 40% under what I'm going to sell it at. But if I think you're trying to come back for it, I'm going to make that gamble, and I'm going to give you a little bit more money. And we also used to do a thing where if you did pick it up, we'd give you a little card that says we gave you $100 on this. Next time you come in, we'll give you $125. And so we got to the point where we were loaning people money more than the merchandise was actually worth. So if they didn't come back and get it, we would lose money on it. And
this is perfect for you, Tom. It's a gamble every time.
Yeah. Oh, you would love it, Tom. It was all gambles.
It's like gambling, but instead of my Bovada app, I got to talk to OxyContin white trash.
But you already do that now.
Yeah. I don't necessarily. I'd rather just type in Bovada than haggle with some toothless OxyContin addict.
You don't want to do it in both facets of your life.
So it's more. Is there more margin and better for business loaning money? Because essentially, what it sounds like is you're just you're loaning money to people bad at life, and then they're paying you back just right before like the time period, and then only to loan it again. It's like the cash checking stores or whatever. You're just in
exactly that.
You're in a perpetual hole that
it's AmScott.
you can never dig out of. Is that the deal?
Yeah, I mean, they made a lot more money. What was called the loan balance. That was kind of like the model for this store. This guy worked for one of the large corporations in the accounting department, and he saw the Orlando stores were making like killer money. So he decided he's going to open one in Orlando. He gets a bunch of investors, and he says, "This is what we're going to do. We're going to focus on the loan. We want people to get their stuff back. We're going to make all our money on interest." And that's what they did. When I came along, they had got a huge influx of cash, like a $20 million angel investor, and so it was almost like a startup where there was like money everywhere, and people were just buying things, and it was a crazy place to work.
So, going back to how you estimate the cost of the jewelry itself, like, how do you know? Like, if someone comes in with a diamond wedding ring, I mean, how do you even go about?
The guy, they would call me. So first you measure the top of it, right? And based on the top of the diamond, you can get a rough idea of the size of it. Okay, and then I would have the person would call me on the phone, and then I would have them tell me, what's it look like? First, without, the loop is the thing you look through. So without the loop, what's it look like? So when you look at the top of a diamond, is it clean? And then they would clean it. And I said, does it sparkle? Because the way the diamond is cut, what's called the modern round brilliant, it's made so that the light goes in the top, bounces off the sides, and then comes back out again. And that's what makes it like sparkle. So, like, if it sparkled like that, I said, well, that's a good sign. And so then they would look at it with the loop, and I said, can you see anything in there? Does it look, dirty? Do you see any cracks? So then they said, no. So then I would say, what's the color? Is it off-white, yellow? Is it got a little brown tint, whatever? So then based on that, there's a chart that basically, because diamonds are what's called carat, color, clarity. So you would kind of determine that. I get a rough idea, I'm like, it's probably, let's say I think I can maybe sell that for $3,000. The guy's he just wants a loan for $800. I think we're probably safe there. And that's kind of how we were walking through it. Then I would give them like an approval code over the phone so that their store manager would know they got approval for anything over a certain size diamond. They had to call me to get approval so that they knew they weren't like getting in over their head.
That's cool. I mean, okay.
So you don't have to get too
technical now.
You're really close to the price. You're just like, $800. I probably could sell this for $1,000. And it's roundabout.
And chocolate diamonds. Loose. Chocolate diamonds are BS, right?
Absolutely. It's a way for somebody to sell a subpar diamond. It's the baby carrots of diamond world.
Gotcha.
But yes, no, and then with the Rolexes and stuff like that, I would go around and train the stores. I would teach them how to take the bands off, and like a lot of the fakes, people don't know, is like the model number and serial number. The serial number has to do with what year it was produced, and the model number will tell you what, like, if it ends in a 0, it's a steel Rolex. If it ends in a 3, it's a steel and gold Rolex. And so a lot of those fakes, they would just put just a random number on there. So I'd have them take it off and say, "What's the model number say?" And they'd tell me, and I'd say, "That's a fake Rolex."
God! Did you crush people's dreams all day long?
A lot of times, yeah. Because they would buy them like overseas, and I'm like, you spent $2,000 for something that in the States would be $8,500. I mean,
maybe.
Do you really think it was real?
Yeah, maybe. It would maybe be there. Like my dad.
But I got it from a Nigerian in the streets of Paris.
My dad
ridiculous.
went through this phase, and I feel like I'll go through it at some point too, where my dad enjoyed. I mean, obviously he had a real Rolex that he really loved, but he also enjoyed the hunt of finding really good fake Rolexes. Like he enjoyed that, and he had a bunch of them.
Yeah, and I would get a bunch. So like I said, they would send them to the office in Castleberry, and we would get them. And then if they were fake, we would keep them. And of course, it would be a loss for the store, but we would use them as like training. So I had like a case of 20 fake Rolexes.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that Castleberry, Florida, is the place with the highest concentration of fake Rolexes in the world?
Absolutely.
Wow. You learn something every day.
And they had a thing for a while in the 2000s that was called moissanite, and it was a fake diamond mineral that, like, if you put one of those diamond testers on it, it would say it was a diamond.
No, they still sell that on Jewelry TV.
And that was a big thing where people would bring it in and put it as a diamond.
I watch Jewelry TV. I still watch the Rockefellers. It's 4 guys together. They call themselves the Rock-Fellas. All they're dealing is loose gems.
All right.
The rocks, get it? And it's great. They've got a soundboard with sound effects.
So, Justin, can you tell any fake jewel, like a ruby, emerald, all that stuff? Like, how do you...
I did get certified from the like a GIA, which is the Gemological Institute of America.
Oh, you're a gemologist?
Just in diamonds. I didn't go to the gems and the rubies and stuff like that. And that stuff is just... it's so hard, especially with the phone. So with that stuff, I just tell people, look, I'm going to loan it to you as it's fake.
Have you ever, while you worked there, did you ever take in a Today, Tomorrow, and Forever diamond?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But the biggest thing, like I said, is the jewelry dealers. A lot of them would buy the rings. They would take the gems out or the diamonds out, and they would go to like jewelry stores and resell them. So like a lot of people don't realize that a lot of that stuff in those stores is used diamonds. They think it's all new, but it's not.
Used?
Yeah.
So Justin, is there like some morality in the pawn shop world where, like, say an old granny comes in and wants to pawn a ring, and you look at it and this is a Mambo diamond that she didn't know the value, and like,
I was going to drop it off the back of a boat, but cruise lines are closed down now.
and you're like, oh my God, this thing is worth like $30,000, and then you lowball the granny.
You have to. It's your job.
I'll give you $2,000, granny, and she's like, oh, okay. And
that'll help with one of my cataract surgeries.
Or is like, because in the shows and like the reality shows, they talk about like they genuinely want to find out the cost, because to them, I've heard the old man that looks like Jimmy or whatever his name is talk about, for us it's just about what it's worth, and then we're gonna give you less because we're gonna, it's just a business.
But they have to make something.
Yeah.
That's the line they always use. They're like, look, I got to make something on this. Yeah. You got to come off of that a little bit.
It's not about necessarily cheating the old granny, just about, so if it is worth $30,000, you tell her, but I'm going to give you $25 because I got to make something. Or do you try to swindle the old granny?
I would say it was probably 50-50. There's about 50% of the store managers that, like, if they came in a $30,000 diamond, the person wanted $2,000, they'd be like, sold! And then, but the other half would be like, look, this is worth a lot of money. You probably should take this somewhere else. But we got a lot of people that would do the storage worth things, where a guy would come in and he'd bring in like a box of jewelry, and he'd be like, I don't know if any of this isn't real. He's like, I don't care. How much you give me for it? I think we bought it for like $800, and there was one ring in there that was worth like $10,000. But he didn't care. He just said, this is what, $800? He's like, it's more than I paid for just for the storage unit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I don't want $10,000 worth of crack later. I want $800 worth of crack right now.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, that's the mentality.
But cracky, right? There's a $10,000 ring in there. Just look through it. What else you got to do? Crack?
Yeah.
Do crack and then look through the box.
If I do my $800 worth of crack, I can't look through this box. I'll be too happy.
So, Justin, let's go back to theft and stolen goods. Now, my wife, and I don't know if you've heard the story, but
yes.
So I gave
somebody stole her Steve Madden shoes.
Yeah, that too. But I gave her a ring that my dad gave my mom. It was an emerald ring. In retrospect, I shouldn't have given it to her so young. An expensive ring.
Oh, you loved her, dude, and we all do stuff like that.
And here's the thing. It's just she kept it in a jewelry box. Our house got broken into in Heroin Alley, and someone stole it. It's some kids. They also stole some, like, PlayStation games. It's just some kids in the neighborhood. She looked around all the pawn shops hoping that they tried to pawn it. And all the pawn shops said, they claimed, listen, all the jewelry, we hold it for a certain amount of time, so it would be here. But I was like, listen, if they got us a really expensive ring, because it was nice, and I'm sure the teen kid, they gave him $300 for it. They could resell it for, $5,000. It's a nice ring. And so I'm sure the pawn shop's like, we categorized this, they knew it was stolen. Some 14-year-old punk kid comes in, and they're going to turn a profit because they got bills to pay. So how legitimate is this?
So as far as the stolen stuff, it's actually really legitimate. They try to run like a real business. So like they would fire people if they took in something with, like, if somebody came in and the person's name was like Dave, and that Steve had written on the back of whatever it was, or it was engraved to a different person's name. You were not allowed to take that. And anything that was in their police report. So the police, if you filed a police report, the police have access to our database that all pawn tickets are in. So they would look and they would see like a ruby ring, and they would call up and say, "Did you take a ruby ring in 2 days ago?" We're like, "Yeah." They said, "You need to put that in a police hold." So we would take that and put that in a special spot in the safe. And then the way it worked was, like, our pawn shop was one of the ones where we said, we'll give it back to you for free. Like, you don't have to pay to get back something that was stolen, but then you have to agree to prosecute the person. Because a lot of times with the stolen stuff with family members. So and then people would say, well, I want it back for free, but I don't want to prosecute the person. We said, well, it doesn't work like that. But yeah, it was pretty legit as far as like stolen stuff, because you could get in a lot of trouble. You could lose your license if they found out about that. And pawn licenses in some places you can't get a new pawn license. You have to buy out an existing pawn store. So you can't just open up a pawn store anywhere.
Yeah, it's like radio stations.
So
same type of people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. That is
I'm sorry, it's true though.
It's true. That may be the truest thing.
Yeah, I think that's the truest statement I've ever said.
So, Justin, what about has the internet really affected pawn shops' business? It seems like it has to, because now it's basically created a market online that people sell their valuables, and then you're exposed to a worldwide audience.
Also, tons of scams, though, too, you know?
True, but, I mean, the pawn shops, to me, it's like if you had something that you thought was valuable, put it on eBay or put it on Facebook Marketplace, or they expose it to
a lot. Much about eBay anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's still.
I'm sure it's still doing its thing.
Kicking.
But I don't hear. I remember when for a hot minute, man, I was on eBay all the time.
I think the eBay is for your higher priced items. Your Marketplace, your Craigslist is for your local, like you want a buck quick type of deal.
Yeah.
You don't want to ship it or do all that nonsense. So it's got to affect pawn shops' business, right? Or
So I don't know about now, but like when I was involved back in like 2002, 2003, it actually helped us immensely. So we had an entire warehouse in Lake Mary that we purchased, and we just did that for eBay auctions. And we were putting up like 400 a day, from jewelry to collectibles. Because you got to remember, we had some 80 stores at one point. So we had stores all across Florida, Tennessee, and so you get a complete range of like different stuff. And we would send it to this warehouse, and we had like 4 people that worked there, like 2 posted, and 2 just handled the shipping. And it was a huge business for us. I don't know if that company doesn't exist anymore, but at the time, eBay was, that was really popular in like 2002, 2003.
Of course. Well, that makes sense that you guys were controlling it. So you guys were getting in the people's garbage and then selling it online. Nowadays, it seems like people are a lot more savvy with selling stuff online, so that probably will hinder business. But I'm sure you got the people that just, they take off their wedding ring and I needed
money,
$500.
I think I'd rather just go to the pawn shop.
Yeah. Well, it's instant.
Well, even as I am now, I would.
Like you said, you need pain pills now. You're pooping your pants.
Well, I just wouldn't want the because it is a lot of the shipping and all of that, the communication even. It might just be easier to go to the pawn shop.
So, as a jewelry appraiser at a pawn shop, what could you pull in? Like, did you have any commissions?
Yeah,
did
any
you get
bonuses?
Yeah. So when I first started, the guy they fired there, I think they were paying him like $100,000, and they fired him, and I was 22 years old, and I think they were paying me like $22,000. And then I did it for like I said, I did it for about 6 months. I did a pretty good job, and they bumped me up to like 34. And then I was doing this thing where I would travel to the different stores, and I would take some stores are really jewelry heavy, so we would take a bunch of jewelry from their stores and do these traveling shows where we do like buy one get one free, and then based on those sales, I would get like a bonus. So I think I got as high as like 40. Which, is not huge, but it was, when I'm 24 years old, I was living pretty high on the hog. But then at that point, that was about as high as it got, and then I didn't want to do that job anymore. So.
Now,
and what did you go to afterwards? You don't have to say where.
I went to a store. I actually asked to be a store manager, and then after that, I actually moved from Florida. So.
So
we always lose our best store managers in pawn shops to other states.
So Justin,
God damn it.
Is it just a stereotype? I mean, I could be wrong, but what's the percentage of customer that has, made some bad decisions in life, or just a general POS that walks into a pawn shop?
Question.
Like, what kind of clientele are you dealing with? 'Cause I imagine it's bad, but you could tell me that maybe it's not.
Not as bad as we think?
Yeah, it's actually not. You'd be surprised. Like the first store they ever opened was in Kissimmee, and a lot of times if you get into communities where it has a lot of people from other countries, like they don't have like a banking relationship. Like to them, like banks in other countries there's no laws and it's kind of crooked. So they're not comfortable with that stuff at all. So a lot of them would like literally come in like every Friday and they would pawn some stuff, and then they would go to work, and then they would spend the money on the weekend, and they would come back time during the week when they got paid and get their stuff back. And sometimes they'd have it back for a couple weeks, but sometimes they might only have it back for 4 or 5 days. The same thing with a lot of contractors too. Contractors would come in and have to make payroll, so they'd be able to pawn some of their tools. And then when they needed it for another job, they'd come and get it back. And we had 60 to 70% of the people in the good stores with the good managers would come back and get their stuff. And that's where we were making the real money. Like I said, 25% interest on a loan balance of $250,000, $300,000 is a lot of money.
So you could have just said yes. No, but I see what you're saying. It's just
you just pulled an EJ on Owen
culturally, and some people would rather work on the barter system, and then people get behind, so it's this perpetual pawn your stuff.
I would have never guessed he'd mention contractors.
You come back, you get your stuff, you need money, you pawn it again. It's almost you guys are the local bank for scumbags.
Basically, yeah.
Also, you can hold on to my gear that won't fit in my truck for a little while.
A lot of musical equipment.
Got my new musical equipment. Well, I've got my new girlfriend's car seats in there because she's got a bunch of kids, and I can't fit my table saw in there anymore. So
also, electronics are literally worth nothing, right?
Yeah, there reached a point where they just when I was there, we just stopped taking certain things. So people would bring in it was the kind of cross between there was still VCRs around, and we stopped taking VCRs. And people, what do you mean you don't take VCRs? And
how dare you?
VCR tapes, we'd give them 25 cents for a VCR tape, and it moves so fast that you just can't get caught with that.
One of my favorite things at pawn shops are dumb old man that can't accept the fact that his ring and or watch is fake. You ever had one of those where they literally no matter what you say, you being the expert, they don't believe you?
Yeah, it would happen once a week.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things. I would almost pay to have a webcam on that just so I could watch the old man go, well, I never.
By the way, if you bring in a VHS of First Blood and and then give it to them and then you give it 25 cents, you have to throw it on the floor, right, for them to pick it up. You can't just hand it to them because they have to know that this is the lowest of the low at this point, and they deserve to pick it up. All right, Justin, that's pretty interesting. It is nothing like last question. Nothing like what we see on reality shows. You never get anything interesting. George Washington's wooden teeth.
Winston Churchill's cigar.
The Miami store. So we have some stores in Miami that were underneath the elevated train there. It was a pretty bad neighborhood. They had a security door where you had to go in, close the door, and you couldn't buzz into the other door. But they got a John Wayne Gacy painting in.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. They ended up not selling it because they didn't feel right about it. They donated it to the FBI serial killer museum there that they were building. Huh. But that was probably the most interesting thing we ever got in.
That's a museum we need. A serial killer museum. That's great.
I think it'll make some revenue.
I mean, it will, but
I'd go.
We don't need it. It's unnecessary.
So
let's celebrate these guys.
All right, Justin. Take it easy. We appreciate it. You are today's Weird Job winner.
You win.
Nice. Yeah.
Whoa.
I was going to tell him he does have the voice of a man who works at a pawn shop.
He does.
He does, yeah.
You know, my superpowers were that one's too easy for me.
Yeah.
If I hear him talk one time, I go, "You used to work at a pawn shop, didn't you?"
We've talked to Justin before because I recognize
he leaves voicemail messages.
Yeah.
He's a wet lips man.
Yeah. It's a wet lips with a little New York.
I don't know. New York wet lips is what I call it.
You are New York wet lips. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more Corporate Time. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Welcome back to the show, everybody. If you haven't ever caught our show live, we run a live video feed via Twitch. If you don't know what Twitch is, started out years ago as a gaming platform, and they've kind of opened it up now where, in my opinion, it's one of the easiest to use and best video platforms you can jump on. It connects easily with our Tom and Dan app, and you can watch almost every single ACT and absolutely every Friday Free show on Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Now, if that wasn't enough, we take those videos, I take them, edit them up, kind of compile them and throw them up on YouTube. So just go to YouTube and search Tom and Dan Live. You get all of our shows, all of our cartoons. I've made it so easy to listen on YouTube that you get all video. If that wasn't enough, I still give you an audio-only version of almost all of our podcasts that are posted, so you can just play it in your car. If we obviously don't want you watching while you're barreling down the highway. So there you go. Check out both our Twitch channel and our YouTube channel. Like and subscribe.
update on Fish Cam. Had a meeting this morning.
I heard a little bit of that.
Looks like we're moving forward. We'll be heading over to a particular fish tank store.
You were like really, I mean, that guy sounded like he was ready to go. Because I heard you say,
I already been looking at some models.
Tom's really good. He goes into like almost like savant mode when he's trying to explain a business idea he has. If you could listen to yourself, you would have like you already have in certain areas ultimate confidence, you would have even more confidence. It is really weird.
If we need that.
No, I don't
more
think
confidence.
I don't think we do. But when you hear him go into like an idea or something that he's like excited, like he's like you're arguably really excited about Fish Cam, and it takes a lot to get you to like something that's fun. I feel like Fish Cam is fun.
Yeah.
So this is weird, and I don't want even by talking about this, I'm a little worried that I'm gonna like ruin it because for some reason Sam, after he got off the phone with this guy, he's over on the computer looking at different type of fish, and he's writing down fish names.
Yeah,
I'm like, what the hell is happening here?
Fish are fun. That's what I'm going to go ahead and you quote me on that.
Are we going to start doing Fish Fridays?
I mean, I don't know.
There was a war on fun.
No, well,
I
not
thought there
for
was
fish.
too until he got to fish.
All right, all fins in.
Yeah, fins to the left, fins to the right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I got 99 problems and a fish ain't one. By the way, Daniel's funniest meme you've ever created.
It's the black Scooby-Doo.
No.
Sort of racist. Yeah. I made a meme.
Well, all good memes are sort of racist.
I made a meme that had this about like a black scuba diver because I had asked the question. The reason it came up is I was like, we were doing all this scuba diving years ago. I was like, you know what's not here? Any black people. There are no black people scuba diving with us. This is white. This is the whitest. This is whiter than golf.
Yeah. I mean,
it's whiter than golf.
It's not a sport. Now there are black scuba divers, obviously.
Yes, of course they're
in the scuba diving world.
It's just
a
stereotype.
Yeah, it's a stereotype.
So I made a meme that said, "I got 99 problems with a fish ain't one," and you loved it.
Yeah.
Is that really the origin of your
my favorite meme?
All right, Fish Fridays.
So anyway,
you're talking to this guy. Does he have a name yet? This guy?
Yeah, Steven.
Steven the Fishman.
I got
Steven Fishman.
I mean, the deal's not. It's not done yet. But,
we haven't signed it with Squid Ink yet.
But he's Top Shelf Aquatics, I believe, over there in Aloma.
Starfish?
He's got all the fish.
This guy grows this guy's a coral producer.
Oh yeah, like one of the biggest coral producers.
This is Big Daddy Coral.
I don't know if
Big D Coral.
I didn't realize that if you go the coral route, you need special lighting and things that are like huge, really expensive systems.
That whole room out there, our entire lobby is going to have to be pitch black. I have to concrete in these windows first, so we got to make that happen. Then I'm going to have to run a whole aquamation system in here. Then we're going to have round-the-clock fish nurses. I mean, we're basically going to be housing 2 of Steven's staff members to adequately stock the tank and keep it up and running. And walking through the lobby, you have to be dead silent because the fish don't like that.
We can't do the show anymore.
Actually, we're shutting down the show. We're going to start working for Steven Fishman.
We can whisper. I've been looking at some models and...
Did you know that Samantha does her own show in the chat room during our show?
Yeah,
This is what I'm reading. God damn it, I hate the smell of fish. Like, it's just, she's doing her own.
Yeah.
Why don't you hate fish?
Don't like them. Don't like the smell, don't like the taste.
You're not going to smell these fish. It's not like you're going to walk out there and it smells like a meat market.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're inside water. That's like doo-doo. It keeps the smell in.
Now, if they die because Butler drops his vape pen in there, then it'll smell like fish in here.
Yeah.
And the likelihood of him dropping his vape pen in there very high.
I've been looking at the Red Sea Reefer models.
He started throwing models around for the tanks.
Red Sea Reefer.
He's going.
We have other pressing things to get to.
Everything else is boring to me. The events.
Give me something else.
Give me parking.
Something else.
I got the parking.
Yeah, who cares about the parking?
Yeah, fish tank.
They lied to us anyway. Get the fish tank. I'm fish tank crazy. I'm with you, Tom. Fish are fun.
Yeah. They
really are.
It's spreading.
Yeah, it is. Coronavirus. I'm fish 19 over here.
Yeah. And once we get in there, all our problems will be solved.
Work.
You're going to have to run the business while Tom and I smoke weed and stare at the fish.
Stare at the fish?
We'll blow weed inside the fish tank. You ever get a fish high? Like,
Can you get a fish high?
Oh, you can get them high.
Look that up. I want that in your
put enough,
search history.
Rice grains in there. Well, he ate a whole rice grain.
Don't eat that. Spit that out.
That makes me hallucinate. This fish is going to go crazy.
He's going to go in that little ceramic castle and kill himself.
Yeah, he'll freak out.
He'll do the Bud Dwyer.
No.
He'll do the Bud Dwyer. Everybody back.
We need a crab.
You cannot get fish high.
Really?
What?
It says scientists tried to
Fish are not fun.
lace pellets with cannabis oil to see if the cannabinoids would have a calming effect on the fish. Their conclusion, unlike other pets such as dogs and cats, fish feel no such high on THC. So
it's
all
a perfect pet for us.
Fish tanks, you can stop trying to get
perfect
your fish
pet for us.
high.
So
well, how do they know?
So our fish won't steal any of our pressers' weed.
Well, I heard Joe Rogan talk about some like what are they called? The reindeer is what we call them, but they're up north. They're
elk.
No, not elk, but God, it's a different type. They go in herds and it's a whole thing. Anyway, they actually like
jackalopes.
They prefer. They go crazy to eat caribou, and these caribou eat essentially magic mushrooms, these mushrooms that have make you hallucinate and stuff, and they love them. They go crazy to find them, and when they find them, they eat them all up, and they think they have, like, they get them in some sort of, they get, high, hallucinate or whatever. They enjoy it. Like, so even the animals like it.
Nice job, caribou.
It does say it doesn't affect their life or improvement of quality of life, but it does give fish the munchies.
Oh, really? Like they'll eat more?
So if your fish aren't eating, put a couple rice grains in there. They ate all the flakes.
They'll eat each other, probably.
Oh, you think so?
What?
Butler be throwing cookies in there.
Here's something that you guys probably don't know. Because of the shape of their body, fish cannot 69.
No, that's true.
Can't do it. Mm-hmm. They can lay on top of each other, but that's just 2 fillets.
They get 11. So you can get all types of like weird ass in saltwater tanks, like eels and crabs. And
we need an electric eel. We need a baby shark.
We need, what are those weird looking, like prehistoric horseshoe crabs?
We can get a horseshoe crab.
Like a miniature horseshoe.
We need what's the thing that plays the xylophone in Little Mermaid? Is that a crab?
Yeah.
Sebastian? We need a xylophone playing crab.
Yeah. That's a regular, we'll get a crab in there.
We need a timid, you can't tell whether he's a boy or a girl, yellow and blue striped fish who's scared of everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're going Nemo. Yeah, we definitely need a Nemo.
We need a clownfish. A dory. What's a dory?
That's some sort of parrotfish. That's something like that.
That's like a gay, no memory fish.
Yeah.
Need one of those.
And then what else weird stuff? Because
platypus? Can we get a platypus?
Big.
You've been bottom fishing in the ocean, right?
I was going to say I've been bottom fishing downtown Orlando. I've done that. Used to go to T's and Q's here in town and bottom fish all the time.
Let's get some seahorses in there.
Anybody's ever just fished off a wreck or bottom fished in the ocean? You pull up some weird ass.
That's what we have to do.
What?
Let's get a beautiful saltwater tank, right?
Yeah.
Stephen Fishman makes us this beautiful saltwater tank. The red, what is it? The red reefer white acrylic. With the neon lighting. And then we have
Red Sea Reefer.
And we have to
rimless reef.
We have to catch everything we put in there.
Oh.
That's the game.
Well, scuba divers go and do this professionally where they catch exotic fish and then sell them to aquariums and stuff.
That's what I want to do. Put a barracuda in there. Big ass. Gnarly teeth.
You can get some sharks, little baby sharks. You can get some, I'm telling you, there's some weird,
but are they expensive?
Things.
I almost feel like we're walking down a road, not to go back to what Sam was saying about having other pressing issues that need our attention, but I almost feel like this could monetarily get out of control real fast.
Yeah.
Real fast.
Well, no, that's a sponsorship. That's what, who you're talking to. You're talking to,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, and, they're
I'm
all covered.
Around here, it may come as a shock to you, but you're known as Tightwad Tommy. You're a little tight.
It's all covered with the partnership.
Okay.
We get whatever fish we want in there, and they get the promotion. It's a bingo pongo.
Okay, that's fine.
Quid pro quo.
Bro.
Don't know how to say it.
Quid pro quo, bro. Quid pro quo, bro.
I don't even care about being dumb anymore. It's nothing
Do you
matters.
even quid pro, bro?
You can do whatever you want. Everybody they'll vote for you.
Okay, I like it. Let us go and do just a couple of voicemail messages here. If you'd like to leave us one, you can leave us one via the Tom and Dan app. Totally free. All of our content's on there. Sign up to be a BDM member.
Yo, BDM Neil here. I'm listening to the CPR show, and yeah, I was actually trained for CPR, and dude, it is pretty shocking to see how hard you have to hit a baby on the back. And they're like, dude, this baby's choking. Don't be bashful with patting, like, you know, get him on the back, like you got to get it out. And I could hear him doing that, and it is pretty like shocking at first. You're like, dude, holy crap! But like, baby's gonna be fine. Maybe has a little bit of a bruise on the back, whatever. But like, you know, better than death. But yeah, I remember being trained for CPR. Like, you have to use 2 fingers on the baby's chest to compress. But then, like, on the thing, like he was saying, like, yeah, if you get like the rib cartilage like broken, like that's what you want. Like, you want that, and potentially even like maybe a little bit of a broken rib. You want that.
Okay, calm down, bro.
You want to break the baby's ribs, bro? Don't you? Or am I the only one? Am I the bad guy?
By the way, I miss in movies when like you gave up on CPR and then you resorted to just slapping the person's face and then they would wake up from that. Like, the CPR were working and then you're going crazy. You do the move where you grab them by their
die on
and
me.
You're shaking them and slapping their face and then they wake up. You're like, oh,
they cough in the water.
Just teach me to get mad and slap their face crazy. That seems to work in movies. Seriously. It was stupid.
Let's try. Oh man, let's try this one.
Hey, this is Alex from Ocala. Calling you guys from Japan right now.
You can hear
the last
chopping.
CT show you guys did. Well, on the best of, you guys are talking about dancing. Daniel said he used to dance, and I don't know if you guys have been to the Disney Springs lately and gone to this club called the Edison, but about every Friday and Saturday night, because I've been there multiple times throughout different times of the year, and this guy's always here. He's a little dancing Daniel Dennis. He's
Ferrari man, right?
Man of shorter stature and has a beard, has nice hair, well groomed, and he gets out there and gets sweaty dance crazemo. It is hilarious. If he's a really nice guy. I've talked to him a bunch of times. Really cool. Don't know his name, but I'm pretty sure it's Daniel Dennis in a some sort of makeup. So you can't hide from me forever, Daniel.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah. Where do you stand on? Because there are guys that like will literally they're living their best life. They'll just go out there and get sweaty dancing.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the sweaty dancing. It was the only thing about dancing, especially in Florida, that I didn't really like. If I went and I was dancing, you did hit that point where you're like, woo, a little hot. I think I'll go sit at the table and have this, vodka cranberry.
I always wonder, because there's always those people in society that they start doing something and then that's their thing. And then they just do it all the time and they become known.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the football fan that dresses up and they go to so many games, they just get branded as
That's Dolphin Danny.
Dolphin Danny, or the Browns guys that wear the mask.
Okay, you'll know what I mean by this. We knew a guy.
They become like the unofficial mascot of whatever, and then like even this club down in Disney Springs, like he just goes there every single weekend, and then the staff knows him.
And then they brand him. Like you know what? There is a high.
But he's a goof. No one really respects them.
No, they don't. There's a high concentration of DJs that I've met who have only become DJs because they've gone to so many bike nights and played their iPod that now they're DJ and then whatever their name is, but only in biking communities, like in motorcycle communities.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of like DJ, I know DJ John is one. I know DJ Bill. I know the guy that DJ called me Daniel Dennis and the Venison. All these guys, like they're like, it's their thing, so they always go to the bike night, and they're
it's never understood that they get paid anything.
They don't.
They just do it like volunteers.
It's their thing.
Yeah, and then that's where they become known as, and then they just ride that out forever though.
Yeah.
Like they do it until they die. So it's like
the first step is going and doing it repetitive. The second step is the staff names you. The third step is you get some equipment. The fourth step you get a banner. Now you're DJ John or DJ Bill or DJ Dennis and the Venison.
It's funny that people stumble into something and then just ride it out forever.
I like it.
Like you stumbled into it.
You and I are doing that now.
Then it's your thing But most of these people, like, it's like a passion project, or it's just what they're known as now, so they can't ever stop because that's the only thing they got. You know,
it's
like
their identity.
The guy that dances out at Disney Springs, he's just that guy. Everybody knows.
No,
the
that's
guy
Zoot Suit Billy.
Yeah. And then that's the only
Ferrari Man. Everybody knows Ferrari Man. You see him around Millennia area. Or
what was the magic guy?
Blue Martini. The
fat man.
Dennis whatever. He's an attorney. The magic fat guy.
Yeah. It becomes their
Banana Man used to go to the Predators games.
Yeah.
He was.
I know that burned hot. I don't think he does that anymore.
Did Claw start out like that?
Yeah. Also, there's another. John Oliver just did a recent piece on.
John Oliver knows Claw from
No.
the Orlando Predators.
Oh my God!
Holy crap!
It reminded me of Claw because there's a MLB team that has their mascot. Their mascot was private, and like the guy owned the costume and the likeness rights and stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess recently he tried to like hold out for a bigger contract or whatever, and so the team just took his design and changed it legally enough, like at 30%.
Oh, dude.
Where now they're just rolling out with their own, and it's different.
He called their
but
bluff.
it's close enough where no one really cares.
No,
Let's be honest.
they don't.
And that maybe the hardcore fans are like, bring them back, the real. This is a fraud, but then that'll burn out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
no team is paying.
At one point, it'll be like, you got a really a raw deal, but hey, the team's playing great. No one cares.
Yeah. So it's similar to Claw, because I remember Bushy used to be mad. Like, Alan is the guy's name.
Alan
Duckworth.
Duckworth, great guy.
Yeah, he is a great guy.
Super talented. That guy, man, you want a mascot costume.
Yeah, he builds
will
them.
hand make you a mascot costume. He made the original first Orlando City mascot.
Yeah, he also made
that you and I named.
You know the mascot in Ace Ventura?
Kingston. We named that.
Ace Ventura 2, where he fights at the end. That mascot he made.
Yep.
Like there were some other ones, but anyway, he owned Claw and the rights to Claw, so the Predators had to like pay him as a contractor to be at every game
like
and stuff.
that.
And like,
good for you, Alan.
And then Bush was mad. He wanted to figure out any way he could not do that. He wanted to own it himself. Like, he didn't like the fact that he didn't have control over it. But apparently there are some mascots around the country that are like that. Like, it starts off with some fan, and then and usually it's a mascot that has nothing to do with the actual team. Like the MLB one was like it looked like a big furry monster. It was some baseball team, it had nothing to do. There's a lot of them that it's not like the Marlin. It's just some bizarre.
I've never
monster.
understood the one for Arsenal Football Club, which is my EPL team, is the Gunnersaurus.
Yeah. It's just some nonsense.
And it's a giant, like, what's the plant-eating?
Brontosaurus?
Yeah, it's like a brontosaurus.
Yeah.
The big one with the long neck like that. And then it just has a jersey on. So it's really just a dinosaur wearing the jersey, which I guess I'm okay with, but it's all for kids. Over in England, like that stuff, like you would never catch like a real soccer watching man. Like that's generally, it's only in the kid zones, bro.
And it should be. It's just, what is
silly.
it?
Yeah,
but it does add to the whole overall experience.
Yeah, throw it all in there. Kids need something. I want to be able to take my daughter to the game, and a giant brontosaurus is going to help out, with the distraction level.
Especially in soccer, not so much because the game never stops, really. At halftime, that's it. Baseball, it needs a mascot. A lot of... Also basketball too. Like the last time we were at the Magic game, like there's so many different timeouts and stuff. I enjoyed stuff going out there and doing.
What'd you think of the integrated dance squad? The fact that it wasn't just the girls up there were guys dancing as well.
It's fine.
I felt like
I wanted to say something.
I felt like
I don't like it.
I felt like being.
I don't care. What do I care?
I feel like you hating fun, and also with your Trump truck. I felt like you draw a line in the sand on that. But I'm happy to see that you're a little more tolerant of boys dancing with girls.
It's a dance squad. Like again, it's for just.
It's for kids.
Yeah. Who cares?
You know what I was impressed with, and I'll throw this to the Magic. Look, you want to make me happy while I'm drinking my second beer? Put somebody on one of those people. What are those things called? The hoverboards on top of a box where they could fall down. He's doing it on his hands as Stuff the Magic Dragon. I was like, I love it. Keep doing it.
Yeah, you're doing a stunt.
Corey Arkins on the court. She's great. Yeah, it was great. I loved going to the Magic game, man. It's like there's a lot going on there.
But going back to who doesn't need them, football teams don't need them. Like NFL teams, stupid.
Yeah, you're right about soccer, dude. There's no time.
Yeah, soccer, NFL, basketball. You don't see it in hockey, although they have mascots. But
fan zone. Put it in the fan zone.
Yeah. But baseball, basketball. Perfect.
I got to tell you, our hockey team here in Orlando, I mean, their mascot, he's dope. Shades is cool.
No, it's Solar Bears.
Like, he's a simple, tried and true. He's a polar bear. He wears sunglasses. He's cool. Who doesn't like that?
Yeah.
We hit the lottery on that one. Stuff, he's a little weird. I didn't like the fact that they slimmed him down. You know, like when they went through the childhood obesity initiative or whatever, and they're like, well, now Stuff's making healthy eating choices, so we've slimmed him down. I'm like, come on, you didn't even need to say that. Leave him alone. Now he can't even boof his belly anymore.
Yeah, that was the best part.
Yeah, boofing his belly was great.
It's a magic dragon. He eats love.
Yeah, he's allowed to be fat, right?
He eats love.
Technically, that dragon isn't like kids that are chubby. If you're a chubby kid, maybe you do need to exercise, but dragons traditionally guard a giant pile of gold or treasure, and they're going to be sedentary. They're going to be lazy. I don't want a skinny dragon. That means he doesn't have any gold to protect. Idiots.
Yeah. Also,
everybody knows this.
His biology is different. He doesn't have high cholesterol. It doesn't affect.
He's in perfect health.
Dragons have multiple hearts. You idiot.
Yeah, you're so stupid. They have 19 chambers in their stomach.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
They can't.
But Shades is cool. I'm a big Shades fan. Out of all the mascots, he's top of the heap, right? Kingston's pretty good because he's like a Rasta lion. Yeah, he's good. Kingston and Shades are the two coolest by far. They pick on stuff.
Is the same guy still do Kingston? Probably not, right?
No.
That was just like at a small intern.
Yeah, that was before the costume change too.
Dude,
they have like a new one now.
Oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Is it like a different version?
Similar, just more aggressive.
Because we need to get Stuff or the guy inside Stuff and just to interview him because that's a weird job
We should call it that too. Inside Stuff.
I remember
Tom and Dan.
Years. This may have been pre-recession, but at one time Stuff or the guy was making $90K and had a company car. Remember, I made a bit about it on the radio show because I was like, what? $90K?
It's a lot of dough.
And but a lot of it was promotional appearances and stuff like that, but he did well. But then the recession happened. I think
they're like bye.
They had to hire him, but who knows with the new guy? I mean, this was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Well, we can reach out, I guess, and see. Did we hit them all? Is that all the mascots that would be in Orlando?
Yeah. Stuff.
What's Tampa got?
Kingston.
Does the Pride have a mascot?
No, I don't think
they
so.
They should, but they probably don't.
It's oh god.
Yeah, don't do it.
Big yellow glove.
Let's see. What would that's funny. What would it's one of those sponges you fill up with Dawn that always leak.
Yeah.
You buy the sponge that cleans
the Dawn
dishes.
wand.
Yeah, the Dawn wand. You buy a Dawn wand. That's her name, Dawn wand. So the Dawn wand, it's a clear tube, and there's a white cap on the end, and you put your Dawn in. There's a sponge that you're allowed to replace on the You're supposed to replace when it gets dirty in the front, and you tip it up, and that thing's just leaking all over your brand new cargo shorts. Oh, it's a mess. What's Tampa got for him, mascots?
We got Nitro for UCF.
I don't like Nitro.
Thunderbug of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
That's pretty cool. Thunderbug is cool. I liked it better. Nitro now
is a lightning bug. Okay.
He's big.
I was about to say bug.
Well, Nitro is like he's big and like goofy looking now, right? He used to be like a knight in black armor, a man on a horse. Now he's like a styrofoam goof.
It's more mascot-y, big head, big knight head.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah. Foamy, exaggerated features.
Foam sword.
I'm
not into that.
Yeah. College, like the best college mascots are either like real, like the Georgia Bulldog, when they go real.
Oh, Uga's cool.
Or
the alligator. Did they ever have a real alligator?
No,
because they have Allie and
just the stupid.
What's the girl?
Cartoon one.
I don't remember.
Yeah, whatever. But they're dumb.
Like FSU, you got the bit where you ride the horse and you throw the spear.
Be careful with that one now. Can't do that one.
I think they still do it.
If you get a real Seminole tribesman, maybe, or
I'm sure they do.
You'd have to. I feel like
it's Albert and Alberta Gator.
Yeah, stupid.
Gator.
Yeah, dumb.
Hurricanes have the ibis.
Is it a real one?
It's what No, it's
the one that can cross his mouth all goofy, right? He's like,
yeah. It's a big
stupid. Nah,
I remember one time in Miami back in the late 90s, he got hit by a stray bullet in like a celebration.
Oh no!
And it made the news.
The Ibis did?
Yeah,
oh,
the guy that played
rough area.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. I don't think
you killed our Ibis.
You know, like he was like a fourth-string wide receiver. You know, like in college football. Then towards like they use like either the male cheerleader or like like you know someone equivalent to the water boy.
You get a Remy to sign up for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And then, you know, if you're up by like 34 points, you let him go in for a play.
Yeah. He's normally running up and down the sidelines with a ginormous flag. Anybody else in Tampa? That was it, right? The Rays, they don't have like a Stingray, do they?
They probably do. They have that tank up there. Have you ever been to the stadium?
No, I haven't been there. They have a tank?
Yeah.
And it shoots?
Like what?
No, like a Stingray tank.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. I was thinking more like war tank.
Well, in Jacksonville, they still have the like swimming pool that you can go and watch a game in, right? You've seen that before, right?
That's kind of gross.
It's
right?
Raymond. His name is Raymond. Raymond Ray.
No.
Raymond Ray
for the Tampa Bay.
It's
Rays.
always some drunk girl wearing.
It should have been Billy Ray.
It's a furry blue creature wearing a large pair of sneakers and a backwards baseball cap, completed with a Rays jersey.
They should have made him more like redneck and called him Billy Ray.
Yes.
Long mullet.
Yeah, mullet.
Yeah, he sings an achy breaky heart after every home run.
He kind of looks like a blue Lorax.
Well, then that's not a Ray. That's
No.
not a Stingray. Why would you make the creature completely different than your actual the icon you use as your mascot?
They do that because they found out an actual stingray off-putting.
Not as cute.
Well, no, like a
huggable.
costume with the mouth. You ever seen the Jamaican tour guide hold it up? It looks like a smiley mouth.
Yeah. But it's you know, I think
It's eating girls' bikinis off.
They probably done studies.
So
or
it's
like,
a furry stingray. Looks like smiley mouth, bikini hanging out of his mouth. He's flapping his wings.
Yeah. There's like kids like furry, cuddly, big
stuffies.
Yeah.
Lovies, as you want to call them. Let's take a little break. We'll come back with more A Corporate Time.
No, that's it.
That's it?
We'll see you.
We'll bye.
Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Now, last night was a very big deal. And was it prime time? Would this be considered primetime television? Or prime time
streaming, right?
Does that exist?
Prime time streaming. Yeah, I think that even though you can watch anything whenever you want, I do think that the kind of the law of when you release something still applies. I know that you're still like, it doesn't matter, just release it whenever, but I still think there are rules of like when you can get the most eyes on something. You know, even in Twitter, when you're scheduling a post, there are algorithms that will tell you when most people are on their phones, and that's when you're supposed to release it. So it's just pivoting. It's just changing a little
after
bit.
work or whatever.
Yeah. So last night we talked. It was the last thing we all talked about before we went, our separate ways for the night. And we all said, don't forget to watch the Corey Feldman, My Truth, The Rape of Two Corys documentary.
Yeah.
That apparently they did a star-studded premiere. Ron Jeremy was there.
All right.
Weird. Chris Kattan was there. Chris Kattan was there. Rosanna Arquette was there.
Chris Kattan doesn't seem like...
I'm assuming these are all friends of Corey Feldman, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, why would you... If you're Chris Kattan, why would you show up to Corey Feldman's documentary
I could see
release
Chris
if you
Kattan more than... Who was the last... Patricia Arquette?
No, Rosanna. Maybe
Arquette?
It was Rosanna Arquette.
One of the Arquettes.
But there were other people too, like the names that I'm naming.
Kattan's a little weird, so
there's a few more. I'll have to find the other article where they talked about this, but they were talking about the star-studded people. Anyway, they show up to this theater in L.A., they go to watch it. Simultaneously, it's being released online. Is that what happened? Because I wasn't able to log in.
Yeah, it was on his website, apparently. He charged $20 for this live stream.
Okay. And so everybody had to log in and pay to watch it, and it was going to be streamed. Do you get it after? Like, do you get a digital copy of it if you pay $20?
No, it was supposed to just be the live stream. That's why it was so exclusive.
Gotcha. And then...
It was supposed to start at 8 o'clock. Then there were a couple of delays, and they said they needed till 8:15. And then the whole site crashed, and Feldman blamed it on hackers.
I saw this. Now, if you go, I was reading a little bit of the article because it even gets worse. Because it never premiered. The thing never worked. And then
it premiered in the theater, right?
The people there, yes, saw it.
Because apparently, and here's a picture of him, and I'll put this out so people on Twitch can see.
But the stream didn't work.
Yeah, if you look at this picture, it's basically Corey Feldman dressed as Michael Jackson, asking the crowd to vote on whether or not they want to do the theater premiere, even though the people at home are not going to get to watch. I'm assuming
of course, they're already there.
And how diplomatic of Corey to actually ask the audience to vote to see if do we still want to do this, guys? The people at home can't watch it. Do we still want to watch the rape movie that I made?
Kind of odd that he's dressed like Michael Jackson.
It is a little odd.
Kind of like being at a PETA convention and dressing like Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, I mean,
what are you trying to do here?
Or if you hold on, counterpoint to that is if you made a documentary about how you were raped. Wear a Captain Crunch jacket. I say yes. I say you wear the Captain Crunch jacket.
Oh, just from absurdity. But the problem is you're dressed as one of the most famous pedophiles of all time, I guess. I mean, not confirmed, but alleged.
It's to get in the spirit of the night, Tom.
A lot of people believe
when
that.
In Rome. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. So he asked for a vote, and then they said, apparently everybody voted yes, let's go ahead and do it. And so the people in the theater saw it, but then online, from what I'm reading, there were glitches. Did it like 45 minutes into when it should have already aired? Corey is like putting up messages that say the hackers are hammering us.
The Wolfpack.
The Wolfpack is hammering. Yeah. Who is the Wolfpack? There's so much. I know so little about this.
The Wolfpack, I guess, is the name he's given these people that he's accusing of sexually molesting and raping children in Hollywood. He's now called them the Wolfpack. I guess he's called them that. He's referred to that before this film came out.
Yeah.
In other interviews and stuff.
They're like powerful Hollywood pedophiles that
it focused primarily on allegations against actor Charlie Sheen, former nightclub owner Alfie Hoffman, and actor John Grisham.
Not the author.
Not John Grisham.
Yeah. I just want to make sure people don't get that at all.
So
I've never liked the name of he's along the lines of a Stephen King, Dean R. Koontz. Never liked that name.
Dean Koontz, yeah.
Dean Koontz.
And then they were supposed to have like a panel afterwards, like a Q&A type situation.
Couldn't find enough Captain Crunch jackets.
They had to cancel it because the moderator pulled out of it. The moderator was like, no, not
phrasing.
No, well, that's how they wrote it.
Well, phrasing, please.
Yeah. He probably
family show, Sam.
He probably showed up and was like,
this is a mess.
What are you guys doing?
I wonder who it was.
You don't have a Captain Crunch jacket for me? All right. You know what? I'm gonna go up the road to PDQ and get a sandwich. Okay, just text me when.
Now, was anybody surprised that was involved in this mess? That it was a mess.
Shouldn't have been.
Now let me also preface this by saying that there's nothing at all funny about people being molested in Hollywood or people being molested at all. I mean, it's just not funny. But you kind of... Okay, I am at a point with Corey Feldman where I think I want him to have a victory. Because the appearance on the Today Show with the Angels, the singles he's been putting out,
even know.
The Dream a Little Dream thing, this whole thing, it's getting worse and worse and worse. I have compassion. I don't like this. Obviously, something happened to him to make him act this way, and he's a punchline now.
Some issues, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sad. It's sad. Have we reached sadness yet? We're there,
right?
I've
been sad.
You've been at sad? Yeah, I'm there.
Sad, yeah.
I'm there. And it doesn't matter how many Admiral jackets you throw on him. It's just, now it's real sad.
Well, what happened is his brain's chemicals are unbalanced, and that's what's wrong with him. He's suffering from some sort of mental illness. It's apparent just by watching. This is not, obviously that mixed with damage has caused this person to, believe that his songs are good and he's got to live in a little
He made some
craziness.
pretty bold statements about Charlie Sheen, and I'm surprised they're not suing him for defamation.
He was. Charlie Sheen was at one time suing him. He pulled the lawsuit back in 2018. Because he's claimed before that Sheen did not rape or have intercourse or molested Corey Feldman, but he did say that Corey Haim confided in him that on the set of the movie Lucas, that Sheen was extremely, from what he says, stuff I can't even read to you, inappropriate to Corey Haim.
So if it's hearsay, are you allowed to say it?
I don't think so.
I mean, the person's dead, so how would you prove? I guess that's the loophole. You're like,
well, I think they can say you're not allowed to say that.
You can't.
I mean,
say
you can
that,
have your attorneys tighten things up. His angels were there.
Yeah. By the way, we've heard about the stories of those.
Wait,
girls.
he did. I didn't know he did a performance there as well. See, that's what makes it weird. If you're going to tell your truth, then don't charge $20 for it online and don't perform a
Well, the
music
video's
act.
still not available, and all they said was, "Sorry for the inconvenience. We'll email you shortly." But it's like, what happens with that 20? Does everybody get a refund?
I mean, whatever's going to happen is going to be horribly botched, obviously. And everybody that bought into this should have known that this was a throwaway. If it was anything like,
because if it was, I don't want to say it's not valid, but if there was maybe some more credibility here, something like a Netflix would have picked this up instead of having to charge people $20 for an online stream.
Yeah,
right?
it's all kooky.
I want to add
chemical amounts.
Let me add to a little bit of the kookiness because I like to, let's tell. It's his story. Last week Feldman also claimed he'd been targeted at his home and threats he linked with an alleged stabbing with a syringe in 2017. He also claimed a truck once tried to run him over, believing the attacks were all in relation to the Tell-All documentary. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed at that.
Well, yeah, I remember when he claimed that the people were trying to silence him and they stabbed and stuff. Again, could happen. Also, paranoia is a symptom of mental illness, so it's really hard to differentiate what's going on here.
Here's the instance he claims with, and this is the one that he points towards Charlie Sheen, which Sheen obviously denies it, had a lawsuit, I guess, when they were going to in some way settle, he pulled the lawsuit out or whatever, I guess putting pressure on someone saying something that he thinks is not true. At some point during filming of Lucas, Haim explained an adult male convinced him it was perfectly normal for older men and younger boys in business to have sexual relations. It's what all the guys do, is what he said.
That's what he claimed that Charlie Sheen
Well,
told.
the claim is,
Haim told him that.
Yeah, and if you go into detail with it, it's real bad. And it involves Crisco.
Oh, the whole...
And the butt.
No.
So,
not soapy butt.
No.
Here's the thing. If you... Again, it may be a loophole where there's no way to prove that that Corey Feldman wasn't told this by Corey Haim because Corey Haim is now deceased. So he could say, Corey Haim did tell me this, and really it's just hearsay. You have no way to prove that he didn't or did. Then can you say it without knowing for sure it's true, and then you're still liable?
Well, you can say it, just don't spray it. I want the news, not the weather, homie.
Together.
Because this it's kind of like a loophole in that I watched the final episode of the McMillions.
McTom is back at it again.
But
Tommy McNuggets.
They had an interesting loophole in this whole thing in which the people that were getting the tickets and like cashing them in claimed that they were never told personally that these tickets were stolen. And since they didn't know they were stolen, therefore they weren't committing fraud. Hence, they shouldn't be charged with fraud or
Weren't
mail fraud.
Weren't they given these pieces by the guy that worked for the company?
Yes,
but they knew they were stolen.
Well, they said that they didn't know that. I mean, obviously,
what they're saying and what the truth is can be
of course,
yeah.
But it was the defense of hey, he didn't say they were stolen. We thought he worked for the company, and this is the way that he was divvying them out. Obviously, we knew he was making a cut because we were paying him a cut, but he never told us they were stolen. So it was like a.
How did that hold up? It couldn't have.
Yeah,
that is lame.
We knew he was getting a cut because you had to pay it to him, but we didn't know it was stolen.
That's lame as hell, man.
Everybody's penalty was like probation and stuff if
Right.
you didn't have priors and
he was the only one that actually did time, right?
Yeah, slaps on the wrist and stuff, and even by time the guy
it was
didn't
like 18 months.
He didn't do that much, but it's funny what lawyers will find loopholes in. So I don't know what you can, because slander is interesting. Also, if you're a celebrity, you have way less rights when it comes to slander. It's really hard to sue someone for saying something about you that's not true when you're a celebrity. If you're a normal person, a lot easier. But again,
that's a hell of a thing to accuse somebody of, though.
Yes, you're
I've
right.
got some of the audio. This is from yesterday. There's a website
If it's truth, it's not slander. But again,
I guess he selected this particular. I found this on YouTube. This is from it's at the Directors Guild of America. It's from a website. I'll give him credit. Bionic Buzz, off of YouTube. And here's Corey Feldman talking. It's just like his little intro of the night.
So I guess that's our job. But something tells me with the amount of money we made on a one-night sale, we're going to get some offers. And some distributor will pick this up. And it will be seen by the whole world.
How many people are in this theater?
They didn't pan to the theater
Right,
at all.
exactly.
You only really see him. It looks like a Tom and Dan event.
Well, you'd go for the spectacle, right? I mean,
people look the same too. It's weird.
I mean, if this is happening, most people are there because like, oh, I want to see the S show, right? Or like this is, it's going to be an S show.
Unfortunately, I think you're right.
I mean, that's what they do with us.
Yeah.
They come to us like, what's going to go wrong? I know it's going to happen.
What? We got a BDM event this
Oh my
week.
God, are we the two Corys?
You are the two Corys.
Yeah, without the rape. So
hold on.
Here's
Okay.
the scary thing is that with what we've seen that's gone on in Hollywood, especially with like the Weinsteins and the other, and so horrible
Oh my God,
stuff.
our camera's frozen. It's almost like they got us. Wolfpack's at it.
The-
Wolfpack!
Horrible stuff goes on. So this is not like so far-fetched that it's unbelievable, right? Like we're like, we don't know whether to believe him or not, but also I kind of believe him. Like something bad has happened.
I think he was molested. Absolutely, I believe him.
Now,
when he says that, I don't know anything about the names or the people that did it, but I definitely think it's true. I definitely think he was taken advantage of, and it did some serious damage to the guy. Yes.
Now, whether
believed
it's a bigger conspiracy and it's organized and all this, who knows? Like that's where it starts getting to more conspiracy theory. But man, I gotta tell you, like I believe him when he says he's molested, like and bad things that happen to him, and like children in Hollywood and stuff, especially without the parental, overseers for any of this, back then, especially when they were actors. Like this is like Drew Barrymore. There's the days of the child actor doing coke at 12 and things like that.
I just want to hear a little bit more, Corey, here.
Without any problems, and I do believe that because truth has an ugly way of showing itself. The funny thing is, right now there's stories on the internet saying how I scammed audiences because we didn't really stream the movie. And this is what they want. This is what they want. They want to make it look like it was all a big scam. But you guys are witnesses. We didn't hide from it. We showed the truth.
Wait, what?
I don't know what's happening.
Again, the mental illness. Also,
no, is it not believable to you that the Wolfpack is? I'm being serious. What percentage? I want a number. Put a percentage on it.
I'm gonna.
Wolfpack is so powerful. So many rich billionaire pedophiles that control this Wolfpack pedophile ring in Hollywood are so powerful. They have their thumb on some hackers that get a hold of this tiny website that he's trying to do it. Obviously, he's not doing it well because he never does anything he does well.
Right.
And that's not a diss. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's just the facts.
He's bad at doing things.
He's bad at doing things.
We can all agree.
Yeah,
that
I think we know which Corey you are.
Is bad at doing things.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And then they hack the site. They shut it down because that's what they do. These billionaire pedophile rings are powerful enough to control things like that. Especially, he's the easiest one to control.
Now,
percentage of chance.
All right. Well,
percentage.
I'll put a 3% chance on that.
Wow, that's high.
And then a 97% chance that he bumbled it himself. There we go. I'll do I think 3 is very generous. I mean, it's but it's about the
Yeah, like Norm says, 100% sure there is a Wolfpack. I agree with that.
I agree.
Do think there is.
Or the what was his name that hung himself? Epstein.
Yeah.
Epstein's of the world. Yeah. Like there's for sure something going on.
Those are real guys. Those are real evil, man. That's like real stuff. Right. That's the real stuff. That's not the devil with horns. That's the real guy on the earth.
Yeah. It's I do believe that there's things like this for sure. Now, the problem is,
I feel like even if this wolf pack that he's claiming hacked, I don't think they need to. Because I don't think he had anyone build him the correct website to maintain the traffic that was going to come through to watch. I think it just crashed because it was a bad website.
Why didn't you just do it on YouTube?
Also, if there was any...
Maybe YouTube didn't want to host it.
You just host it.
If there was any...
I think they can approve or disapprove content.
Yeah, but let them take it down. If we could go live right now with something crazy, it happens all the time. They'll just later grab it down.
Also, if there was... It's similar to like... when they're like, did we find Bigfoot? Find out after this. Well, I already know you didn't because I didn't hear about it. And this, what I'm saying? If you did find it, this was filmed.
You've also been working on this for 3 years.
Yeah, this was filmed 6 months earlier. Like, it would have been out immediately if you had footage of it. So this tells me that there's no like revelation in this documentary or some like really hard proof.
Well,
of
the big
what he's
name
saying.
that had never fully been kicked around in the media in a huge way was Charlie Sheen. Like I said, they've already battled. They've already had lawsuits. He's already like denied it in true Sheen fashion, where he's like, I will stand here at winning. Game over. He does that whole thing about how
he's mentally ill too.
Yeah. So, but he will. The one thing is like he will lawyer up and say no, this didn't happen, and be very outspoken about it, and it's a mess.
Or unbalanced. I say mentally ill, and people are like, "Oh, he's
extreme."
Extreme.
He's all extreme.
He's just an unbalanced individual. Like, but that shows me that. I mean, people did watch this screening. Did anybody go to the news and say like, "Oh my God, he's got the proof in there"? I'm guessing it's probably just like the reveal of his documentary. A little bumbly, a little all over the place. Probably you could see in the manicness in the damn documentary itself. I don't know how much he was involved in editing it. If he was like the director of it.
Grady Seasons brings up an excellent question. Why did he keep all the treasure in his mouth in Goonies? Should have swallowed it.
Yeah. Anyway, it's more of the same with old Feldman, right? Not that did we believe this was going to be like this huge like breaking news revelation of like the Wolfpack?
I forgot about it. I
I
forgot
did
it was
too.
on.
I did too.
And it was our homework. We were supposed to watch. We did this with
we knew.
We did this with the Willinda too. Here's two big major letdowns. Anything that they build up, like to go and watch it live, I'm never watching any of that again.
I didn't even have anything to watch. I was just doing nothing. I was scrolling Facebook.
You know what I did? My wife, it was just me and Maisie, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" She's texting me. She's like, "What are you doing?" You know what I was doing? I'd already put Maisie down, and I was just laying on my bed, fully clothed, listening to the monitor in her room, like just play her music. So I'm listening to like an AM radio, and I'm just sitting there because I had time to do nothing.
Yeah.
And I just laid there and stared at the ceiling fan.
Yeah, it's better than this documentary or.
I found out more about myself doing it.
So
interesting. Well, here's what I would say about him. I wish you well. Get the help that you need. Work on your music and hunker down.
In response to it not happening, he says, I don't know how we're going to get people to see the film. We've got to solve that problem first. Yeah, or give people their money back. Like,
well, you got to give the money back.
Or just there's a thing called the internet, and
upload it.
Once you upload it, everybody in the world can see it at the same time.
Is he afraid if he does?
He wanted to do another stream today at noon.
Oh.
But I don't think that happened.
Oh, did we miss it? We could catch the last 9 minutes of it if we go now.
Well, just put it up for digital sale. There are tons of platforms that make this easy to do.
We're off of Amazon, our documentary, for some reason.
All right.
Somebody was trying to watch it last night.
They
said,
pulled it.
Like, I can't find it. And I'm like, oh, Kirk, what are you doing?
Oh, thanks, Kirk.
Kirk, once it's out there, just leave it alone, buddy. You stop mashing on it.
I haven't talked to him in a while. I don't know what. I thought it was just going to be.
He's knee deep in $5 footlong right now because he sold his big Hollywood dreams.
Yeah.
He sold his big Hollywood dreams to own a
one.
sub shop.
Yeah.
Now he's back there churning up some pasta salad for the lunch rush.
I mean, just search Tom and Dan.
I wrote a mediocre documentary. It popped right up.
Well, you know what? People search for it on the wrong. You have to make the settings all, not just
Prime. Yeah, you're right.
And
He's right.
So that's where the problem is. Like, make the settings all, search for Tom and Dan, it'll pop up. Because obviously,
it does say this title is currently unavailable.
There you go.
There it is.
There it is.
Kirk, go!
What do you do with the rest of them?
Kirk, just leave it always available, buddy. That's how you make money. Why are people bad at life?
He probably it probably lapsed or whatever.
Lapsed?
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't think that's a thing either.
I don't know.
I mean, he's the one that has to lapse it.
I imagine maybe you have to renew every 3. I don't know.
He's like, God, my multigrain's burning.
He was at the live stream last night of Corey Feldman.
Because if you're Corey Feldman, just put it up for people to buy.
Maybe legally he can't. And the only way he feels like he can do it is if he does it like live.
No, I mean you could do.
He's afraid of something. It would make sense that he's afraid of like putting it out there, because if you put it out there and too many people watch it, then he gets intense Wolfpack scrutiny.
Okay.
Right? You see what I'm saying? Right? That would be the only reason why you wouldn't, because you're right. The easiest way to do it, like you could literally, right now, I could call our website guys and say, hey, Tom and Dan documentary, I'm going to send you the master file. Put it up and allow everybody that goes to this website, make it just stream right.
You need big bandwidth, but that's it. You know, you could buy that stuff. You know?
Well, I could, just house it and you just keep pulling it. Well, it really wouldn't need that much bandwidth. I only need like, what, 1.5 gigs or something, because it's just the size of the file. Everybody else is going to be downloading. I'm not uploading multiple shows. Just the one.
Yeah, I'm just saying for the amount of people going to the site at once, you would need to house that. But
put it on all the torrent sites.
100%
I'm surprised he hasn't
doable.
done that. He could leak it himself on all the torrent sites, right? Then people could just get it, and there's no stopping it at that point.
He wants to make money. He wanted the money. That's what he wants.
Yeah, he needs to make money off
and
of
that's the reason why everybody kind of looks at him with a little bit of shade, is because like you're profiting from this. And your friend is dead, and you're claiming that he confided in you. This looks a little fishy. That's it, right?
Well,
they had an Indiegogo to make the film, which didn't raise a ton of money.
He's got another Indiegogo for another film with Bret the Hitman Hart. If you pledge enough money, you can be in the movie.
Yeah, we wanted to do it.
I want to pledge and then send Remy in my stead.
Yeah,
to be in the movie.
Yeah.
My luck, he'll hit it big. He'll be the next superstar.
Yeah.
He'll star in the newest Die Hard reboot.
Corey Feldman, and he may already be doing this, and I'm sure he is, but he has just got to go. He's got to dive headfirst into full like 90s goofus, like just start doing like the movie. And this is like Bret the Hitman. Like that's perfect. Like someone told him like, hey, make a horrible movie.
Yeah.
People crowdfund to get into it. That's how you make money.
Has he been in Sharknado? I mean,
you're
I feel
just a
like
clown at this point, right?
He should be perfectly cast in Sharknado, right?
Do we need any more of those?
Because it's not. Here's the thing about Corey
bad.
Feldman.
People laugh and they're like, look at
I
him.
don't at all find him unlikable. Okay, I don't.
Yeah.
I like him. I just think he's kooky, and it's getting hard to believe him. But I feel like if you're right, he should listen to you. That'd be good advice. If you pivot his career a little bit,
just go full
Just
goof.
say like, you got to keep your mouth shut about all this other stuff. And if that did happen to you, you got to work on that. We got to get you some medicine, and we can get you a therapist.
Yeah,
and you got to stay on it. You can't get off of it. And now you got to do all these Sharknado movies, and you'll become rich.
Yeah. Because
you're beloved. Nostalgia works hard in your favor, man.
And so many people, like, listen, just, and I understand. Most of my career is people laughing at me. I know who I am, like the bear suit, a goofy, it's, it is what it is.
Are you clowning me?
You gotta not take yourself so seriously. Just realize that's what it is. And you're not a serious artist, and people kind of goofing on you. And make money, bro. Like, what are you doing?
I thought of you over the weekend. This is related, unrelated. But you mentioned yourself, and I'll pivot for just a second because the Corey Feldman stuff depresses me. There is a Mickey Mouse cartoon where Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, and I think Goofy all go camping, and Mickey wants to camp in a real tent so he gets the true outdoors. And Donald has an RV that's got all the latest and greatest technology. And not only that, but to ruin Mickey's time even more, he drops the tailgate, and it's one of those toy haulers, and four-wheelers fall out of the back, and Donald and Goofy get on these four-wheelers. They start ripping through the forest, tearing tents down, destroying the forest, and I'm like, there it is. There it is.
He likes it too. It's the same. You're not helping me, Goofy.
And Goofy's like riding on a four-wheeler and like in Croom Forest, and he's like, gosh, this is fun. And I'm like, there it is. And I guess I'm Donald Duck because I'm riding right there with you. I'm like, oh, it's awesome. It's so I laughed so hard. I was like, it's Tom.
Not helping my case. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and with Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom. Let's do it, buddy.
All right, here we go. I didn't feel like singing today.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Maybe I can still sing a little bit. I hate looking at your sad faces when I don't do an improv song for you. Tom Van is Goofy. Hi, God.
You got clowning me. Stop clowning me.
We love Porky! Yeah!
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue and Apopka. Try that delicious cheesesteak sandwich. Oh man, it's on.
Bow with the bow, the bow, the bow, diggy, 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 jump the boogie.
Porky's. All right.
That's perfect.
Now
with
Have you seen those photos?
22% more Kid Rock in every cheesesteak.
Yeah,
looks delicious.
Yeah, it looks really good, and he had
Haven't
to
made it out
pull.
there yet.
She had to
Shaved
pull it
ribeye.
apart so the cheese is
Oh,
all
yeah, gooey.
gooey.
Yeah, with some green peppers, onions, some provolone cheese.
And you gotta cook it in a little bit of some of the meat fat.
No,
you get it
yeah,
all
that's
caramel.
smoked.
Get those onions all caramelized.
That's good.
That is really good.
I want to eat that every day, not the garbage I eat every day.
Yours was pretty good. What is it? Sriracha
It's
chicken with
fine.
mac and cheese and
Stunk
green
up the
beans?
studio.
Yeah. You know what's
And
better? That cheesesteak.
I had a sensible garden salad and some rigatoni pasta salad. What'd you have?
I had a teriyaki chicken salad.
Oh, that sounds good. Butler, what'd you have?
Meatballs and crap.
There's a new bit I'm doing called What'd You Eat Today?
We're
going to do that on Sundays.
I remember I used to eat like a foot-long public soap every day.
Italian.
For breakfast.
Foot-long Italian for breakfast.
No wonder I was goddamn 220. Anyways.
All right, who's porking?
So who's porking this week? You guys know that Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry have been together for a while now. They got engaged last year.
Is there a flower shop in this town called Orlando Blooms?
It should be. If there's not, someone please make that.
Yeah.
Also,
Is he alive or dead?
Can we talk about the Who's Porkin' curse for a minute? Because
Yes.
man, this
you've been really upsetting some people.
I will say I did have an update in the BDM group that Amanda Bynes and her dude split.
Yeah.
And
really?
we did talk about how like a lot of people were throwing shade about her ring looked fake. It was an Amazon ring for $46, so it was fake.
Nah.
But the next day after she announced the split, she posted another picture with him on Instagram and said, "My love." So they're back at it again.
Well, maybe they're just
mental illness.
Yeah.
I will not clap to that.
Corey Feldman. What's her name?
Amanda Bynes.
Corey Feldman. It's the 4-syllable curse.
The Wolfpack.
Daniel Dennis. Oh my God, dude. If you have 4 syllables in your name, you're a wackanut. Thomas Van 3, you're good.
Yeah.
Samantha Hart, you're nuts.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Travis Butler, nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Well, is it my maiden
Yeah.
name or my married name? Because
Travis.
My
Hold
maiden
on, don't
name-
tell me your maiden
okay.
name. I used to know it.
it's 2 syllables.
Yeah, it's Samantha Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Yeah.
That one hurt. Do I get a nosebleed? Nosebleed?
No,
Nosebleed? Nosebleed? I get a nosebleed when I think too hard.
So they've been together for a while, and now they're pregnant. Katy Perry didn't make an announcement. She just put out a music video, and in the music video, she's full front, just showing off the
That's
belly.
kind of cool. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool. How big do you think her Perrys are going to be? Because I'm telling
they're
you
gonna
right
be big
now,
ol' Perrys.
they're already fantastic. They're the
Yeah.
best in pop music, I think.
They're pretty good.
They'll be big.
Oh, my
weighted.
God. I've got the eye of the tiger.
Yeah. Big, heavy.
Oh, big old ones.
Yeah. Big naturals.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
Snoop Dogg's, what was that, California Girls?
Yeah. Spraying the whipped cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're that famous and you're married to a famous person,
Who's she married to?
She's not married yet. They're not married
Oh,
yet.
okay.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh,
They
he's
had-
alive.
They were supposed
they
to.
were on
yeah.
I remember when they were paddling on the stand-up
He had his
paddleboard and he had
donger
his
was out.
donger out.
Yeah.
I remember
So they've
that.
been together since like 2016. They had like a couple breakups or whatever. Then they got engaged last year. Now she's pregnant. This is her first child. He already has like a 9-year-old from a previous marriage.
Yuck.
But apparently, like she's been co-parenting with the 9-year-old for a while now. They get along well, and she's excited to have her
Who
own.
wouldn't want Katy Perry to be your stepmom
Right?
if you're 9 years old?
And it's a boy,
That'd be dope,
It's
man.
a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, but she's like, she kind of has that, like, all of those female pop stars, your Katy Perry's, Beyonce's, Taylor Swift's, I mean, they have, like, they'll have an aura about them.
Okay.
She comes off as one of the most fun pop stars, too.
I don't know pop music that well, obviously.
That's weird.
Even though I'm a pop, which seems like I should love pop music. But Samantha and Daniel, tell me in popularity wise.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift. I'm gonna go out there and throw Pink and Lizzo.
Do you want
Those
the
five.
order of
the
popularity?
Order, yeah, popularity from top to bottom.
Okay,
Popularity to who? Just in general.
Taylor-
overall?
Taylor Swift is number one.
Yeah.
So she's the most popular.
T Swift.
And then out of those, then I would say, what were your other ones? You said Katy Perry.
Yeah,
Gaga or Katy Perry?
I would say
probably
Gaga,
next, Yeah.
then Perry, then
Yeah, because Gaga, when she made that movie, a lot of people that don't listen
Huge.
to her music then became fans of
Lizzo's
her.
in last place. Even though she's
Really?
super popular, she's still in last place. Not big enough. Who was the other one you had?
Pink.
Yeah, it'd be Pink Lizzo. I think that's correct.
Okay, all right.
It'd be Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Pink, Lizzo.
So Katy Perry's still relevant. Does she have any hits out recently?
Well, she just came out with a new song, which this video accompanied.
the pregnant one.
Yeah.
But she's not. I mean, Taylor Swift is always
Her
like
sixth album, I believe.
whatever you think Taylor Swift's popularity is at. Like, and yes, my voice cracked. I'm a bag boy. Multiply it times like 3.
Oh yeah, because it's
It's
gigantic.
bigger.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
way
yeah.
bigger than you think.
So when you're that famous, though, going back to my original point, you rent
Oh, the
out.
music video is called "Never Worn White."
All right.
So I'm assuming that's maybe about. Wasn't she married before though, or no? She just
Yeah.
got engaged
To,
maybe before.
I thought she was married to that long-haired guy from Get Him to the Greek.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Oh,
What's his name?
The comedian.
British. It looks like British
I hate
Steven
that guy.
Tyler. British Steven Tyler?
Yeah. What is that guy's name? Come on.
Russell
Twitch.
Brand.
Russell Brand.
Yeah, there it is. So,
Ugh.
but so you rent out like the hospital, so you're the only, or you have like a private doctor and staff come in, and that's what you do,
Or you
right?
shut down a whole wing of the hospital like Beyonce.
Like Beyonce, yeah. So when you have that kind of money, you do that. Like there's a certain expense.
I have a feeling she's gonna be like home birth or something, like very hippy dippy.
No,
Yuck.
Well, you could at home. You could hire the equipment.
Bring the doctor to you.
And
I
then,
guess.
bring the doctor and bring the staff, and then pay for it. I mean, with the you're multi-millionaire, and some they'll probably give you a discount just because you're Katy Perry.
You know, it'd be really cool. So you're worth this much money, but nobody has this much time, or nobody would care this much. You go to an area that needs it geographically, and you build a hospital, just a small hospital, and you use it for your birth, and then you donate the hospital to the community.
The problem is just like
That'd be awesome.
Like when the United States pulls out of whatever war-torn country, they
No, you staff it. I mean, you don't just leave it as a building.
because I was about to
you
say,
don't want
like-
to be the world's largest Amscot.
Well,
you
what
know,
happens is you're like, hey, Afghanistan police, use our military base now, and then everybody just
it's
runs
just
in
like
there
a city now.
and no one just steals all the
Copper
copper.
wire.
Yeah. And they're like, no, you use it, idiots! No, they ruin it for because everybody's in it for themselves. They're like, I'm starving, my family's starving. I need this, whatever machine this is. I'll sell this for $10. So that's what they do. Is they never use
Yeah.
it. That's the problem.
boy or girl? What are you thinking? I think it's gonna be a little girl.
Yeah, I think she's gonna have a girl.
Yeah, I think a little girl.
I wonder if because all this stuff is usually protected under HIPAA, so we never really will know. But nowadays, you could do like
Pick and choose.
Well, not them, but they've been doing that for years. Like if you look and see how many like celebrities have one boy, one girl twin, you're just like, wait a minute, this statistically this shouldn't happen to only rich celebrities. Like it should be way more random. And you realize they're just doing in vitro, and they're like spinning the deal to pick the sex of the baby.
Dude,
But you could also eliminate genetic diseases and things. So ultra rich celebrities are doing all that, right?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. They're doing whatever science can provide.
But it probably depends on what they believe too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess if you're like
mothers become like uber picky about what they want to do. Like we ran the gambit, like with different mommy groups and people that I've talked to. I mean, I've got friends that, want to do like at home birth, natural birth. I'm not taking any drugs. I'm using a doula, which my wife did. I made fun of it because that's kind of my job, but it worked for her, but I know a lot of people that are like, that's silly. You don't even need that. Just go to the hospital like everybody else. So I guess it kind of, it's
all subjective.
It's extremely personal and kind of intimate.
But I'm talking
or
about
very intimate, rather.
Like the extreme expensive science that exists that I only imagine that ultra wealthy and celebrities do, but they're doing that, right?
Like cloning your dog, it falls in the same category. It's like you have the way and the means to make it happen.
If the doctor goes to you and be like, listen, you've got the money, it's it's $50,000 per genetic disease that we can eliminate pre-birth.
It's like adding blast to your smoothie.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, we can go in there and manipulate this embryo's gene so it never can get genetic lung cancer or all these, like, there's a list of a bunch of diseases they can eliminate so that you'll never get it. Genetically, at least, you could probably smoke your way into it, but
you can smoke your way into anything.
Oh, yeah.
But the ultra rich were doing this, I imagine, because why wouldn't they? If the doctor goes to you and be like, "Hey, I can eliminate these list of diseases your kid will never get," and you're like, "Well, money doesn't matter to me. Do it, of course." We never hear about it.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to hear the inside of like the ultra rich and how they have babies and what they're doing. I'm sure some of them don't do it, but there got to be some.
Can you and Samantha think of a actor, actress, pop star, okay, let's just say famous person, I'm going to say entertainer, that has had kids, other than the only one I can think of is Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay.
Where then you have kids, and then your kids show signs of wanting to be in entertainment and actually are successful in it. Are there any other people like that? That's the only one that really comes to mind.
Tons of them from like even from back in the day.
No, I'm not going. I'm going like most current.
Current?
Most current.
Tom Hanks' son.
He's got a couple sons. He's got one that's a rapper. And
Yeah,
he's
one
got
is
the
a rapper,
actor.
throws the N-word around like crazy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really funny.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep's daughter.
Who is that? So you see what I'm saying? Like I mean, like Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith. You can already say Jaden and you know Willow. You know it because they became like that. Whip my hair back and forth thing was like a big thing.
Yeah, but was it big because it was Will Smith's daughter doing it?
I mean, there's a part of that, sure, but name another star who's had, like, so I could see Katy Perry having a little girl and then the little girl becoming a performer. I could see that.
The thing is, it's always they're less famous than you or way more famous. It's never like an equal.
Not on like
it probably makes sense. Again.
Well, like you think of Kirk Douglas and Michael Douglas. I mean,
yeah. Although
that was
they were pretty
even.
equal. Yeah.
That's the most even one I can think of.
Although I think Kirk,
What about Lil Romeo?
Oh yeah, Romeo.
Master P's son.
Oh yeah.
That was when Lil Bow Wow, Lil Romeo.
I mean, I would say they're pretty even. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Sam.
I don't know.
That's a great one.
Master P is.
He's pretty big.
Back in the day, he was.
I mean, even now, he got asked to redesign the Pelicans jersey. When they rolled out the mixes, the mixed up.
He's also doing like a No Limit Soldier like reunion.
Yeah,
thing,
he
which
should.
I would go to.
I would go to it too. I think that's really cool, man. They had their place. They are in hip hop like history. They had their place.
How rare is it? Okay, so that your kid follows in your career footsteps and achieves either what you've achieved or more.
Well,
or whatever,
Buck Tucker in our Twitch chat room has a good one. She just hasn't achieved what her mom did. Cindy Crawford's daughter, who looks exactly like Cindy Crawford.
Oh, as a model, yeah.
She's a model. They look identical. But, I mean, I think her mom will always be more successful because the modeling and supermodeling at that time was not
bigger, yeah.
Yeah, and she was sort of a pioneer.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think she could ever achieve that success. Just
but that's a good
modeling.
one.
What about
That's
Angelina Jolie?
with one of their kids.
Well,
Oh, you
no,
mean with
she's famous and her dad's
well, she's
famous.
way more famous than her
John Voight?
conservative Republican dad, right?
Yeah,
But he was huge back in the day.
Yeah, he
yeah, but
was
I
pretty big, but I don't think he was Angelina Jolie big.
Yeah. John Voight never.
But that's a really good one too. That's a good one.
Ben Stiller, Jerry Stiller.
I like John Voight. He's a little.
Ben's bigger.
He's super conservative, but I've always liked John Voight.
But it's like
I loved him in Anaconda.
This happens in sports all the time. I mean, look at the Archie Manning had two sons that won 2 Super Bowls. Although he never achieved.
Foschino in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. Great one, and I think they're even. Goldie Hawn, Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
I think that's dead even.
I don't know.
Kate's probably a little bit bigger, but man, Goldie Hawn, if you go 80s, Goldie Hawn was huge, man. Bird on a Wire.
The problem is we can't, you're
There's
right.
no way to judge it.
Because we forget. It's like how Goldie Hawn was one of the biggest
Mega.
actresses of all time. So at the time, probably bigger
We
because there's
forget
less
about
content.
those. We forget about the Goldie Hawns and the Meg Ryans and even Julia Roberts sometimes. We forget about how, ginormous they were.
I wonder
at a time when you could be like almost bigger than you could be now.
So you get a genetic roll of dice when you have kids, and they could be, thousands of different people, I imagine. Like maybe it's not that big, but so sometimes you get the roll of the dice where they're much like you, which probably lends them towards the same career path as yourself. Whether it be mother or father.
Sure.
I know one that surpassed Miley Cyrus. Way bigger than Billy Ray Cyrus.
That's a great one.
Now, he came more relevant just recently in that one Old Town Road song.
But because of
other
her,
than that,
probably, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what,
no one would care.
You can crap on Billy Ray all you want to, but back in the day, that song was huge.
It was.
He has always done a decent, I'm not saying great, but I think he's always done a decent job of kind of floating right on the skirt.
And pivoting.
And pivoting and like kind of catching a wave now and again to make himself successful.
Old Town Road's not country music. It's
it's hip-hop.
It's a pop, hip-hop hybrid of whatever.
Well, country music, our hip-hop songs have been sampling country songs for forever.
Yeah.
Just now it's like country rap, which is ridiculous.
And I'm sure she had, and that's an interesting one. One of your kids actually being in the same entertainment industry and then helping you in later years become relevant again, because that rarely happens at all, like with actors and actresses.
In my luck, my daughter will end up doing some podcast with your boys, and it'll be a super successful morning show. And next thing you know, they're like, "Where's Daniel at? Where's Dad? Where's Dad at?" And I'm like, I'm on like a walkie-talkie, unloading merchandise for the Maisie Tommy Mac show. And she's like, "Get in here. You're going to ride the Simian again." I'm like, "Oh, God." I go in there. I'm dressed
goes back to full 90s.
I'm in some stupid costume. She's like, "Sit on it, you fool." And they're vibrating me.
I wonder what, like, we mentioned it when we watched the Super Bowl this year, like Kyle Shanahan's dad, being a Super Bowl winning coach, and then the son ends up being in the Super Bowl.
That's a good one too.
And
although his dad is bigger, but still, I mean, that's a good one.
Didn't win, but man, when your kid achieves something that you've achieved and it's really hard, that must be a bizarre and proud feeling. Although as a parent, you're proud of your kid for everything. Like, they're, doing.
Like you call them and you're still alive. Great, I'm real proud of you.
You're like, big poo poo. You're just proud of everything. So I wonder if you could only be so proud. So like winning the Super Bowl proud is like equivalent to big poo poo proud.
I think big poo poo proud is bigger than Super Bowl proud, because big poo poo is something you have to learn how to do.
Because on the proud scale,
you don't have to win the Super Bowl for me to be proud of you, but you do have to be able to, go number 2 and clean yourself up.
You know what?
That's a prerequisite for life.
You should tell your kid a scale of 1 to 10 how proud you are, because you don't want to be Super Bowl proud for poo poo proud because they have nothing to achieve. You want them to be like, all right,
well, that's your fault for making
2 units proud.
You made a poo poo proud a 10 point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You should have made it a 3.
Well, all parents, I fall into this trap where I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm looking at some scribbling.
You put in a sock? What?
Yeah. I'm like, oh, so proud. Look at this scribble. This is good. Like, you'd be like,
but are you really, or are you just pretending like that?
I mean, you're just pretending. I mean, but you feel
is what you want to say.
You
can
do
say it. You can say it. You're lying.
So you're lying to your child once again.
But the thing is, you do, like, I am proud that he drew something. Now I know that it's not really good.
Then you should be like, that's pretty good. Keep working on it.
But I want to make him
knock him down a peg or two.
No, look at him and go, meh.
But you want to make your kid happy. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So
but everybody else is coddling them. You got to be the one that's a realist and be like, nah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I've seen better.
The problem is you run the risk of
you make
damage.
the kids go against each other. You're like, Tommy draws better than you, Max.
There's a fine line between toughening them up and then years of therapy damage. I don't know what that line is. I don't know. It's like
sometimes you got to walk the line.
Yeah. You're like, I thought I was tough, and then they're like, I didn't need to be this tough. Look at our life. We're in air conditioning all the time. We're not in the wilderness. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess my pop lived in a different time. I'm thinking that you need to be tough. The world's pretty easy. All right, let's get out of here.
Is that it? No, I think we got to come back.
No, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
I think.
No, we got to come back.
All right.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's it.
Well, we're gonna take a break. We might come back, or maybe we'll see you tomorrow.
Only you can decide. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Let's do some emails.
All right, we never do emails. If you'd like to shoot us an email, you can do it really easily. I believe you can do it through our app, but the easiest way to do is just load in a web address, or the email address, show@tomanddan.com, not the web address. Sorry, it's all running together today. My brain's shutting down. Show@tomanddan.com, and you might get your email read on the program.
All right.
Okay, this says the subject line is outrageous. I've been a listener for a long time, but I had to send you an email on this one. I just finished about you talking about glass-bottom boats. I am at the least disappointed, at the most angry about the segment I just listened to.
Uh-oh.
Yes, glass-bottom boats are old and haven't been popular for decades, but Tom's level of disrespect is alarming. I know you guys are big on humor, but this is not funny at all. As a child, I have fond memories of the glass-bottom boat at Silver Springs. How can you not find it amazing looking at scattered bass and brim eating dry dog food that the captain is throwing at them? Shame on you. My father, my mother, and my sisters all rode the glass-bottom boat and kind of enjoyed it. I thought your show was a fan of boats, but I guess not. Looking for something to be outraged about, Jimmy.
Hey, I have a question. I never knew this. Dude, were they really feeding them dog food?
Oh,
No,
man, I didn't know that.
It's
I
kibble.
always thought they came up to the boat. I didn't know they were throwing dog food.
No,
on
you
the side.
gotta track them somehow. Yeah,
Chum them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So they're pecking at it. You know, so like, I think it's like my mother, dad, and sister kind of enjoyed it too.
Kind of.
You can only kind of enjoy a glass bottom
It's
boat.
all right.
I am
fine.
pro glass bottom boat. You
It's
know what I'm
basically a fish tank.
now? If you want to know what I'll die on the hill for, that's the Flex Seal boat that fat guy rides in. The whole boat's made of glass. He's like,
No,
"Look."
no, it's a screen door.
No,
and
no, they've done two. They've done a screen door. Then they build him a whole boat out of glass.
Yes.
Have you seen that one?
and then he
No.
puts a screen
And
door.
then they zoom back. And
No
they're like, this
screen
whole
doors.
boat's made of glass. He's like, I'll find it.
Well, that's not doesn't do anything for
No.
Flex Seal. There has to be a
it's
screen
holding
door.
the edges together.
Oh, okay. So
Okay. They use Flex Seal to hold the glass. together. Okay.
Find this. I've got too many Corey Feldman windows open.
It's
you're shutting down the site.
you're like the chick from Titanic was just like she was able to basically stay afloat on the broken piece of wood from
Yeah.
the ship. It's like anything could float. Really,
It's Flex.
not that amazing.
Flex Seal Clear is why they use the glass.
Nah.
Hi, Phil Swift here for Flex Glue Clear, the crystal clear rubberized glue
Check this out.
with amazing instant grab.
Hey guys, what's up? This is
Oh my God, it's Goof Duck Adventures. So he will. Sorry about that. He'll go and he'll do a whole boat of glass. I'm going to it now. They're making the boat. There he is. All right, hold on. They're making it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play this for you.
Flex Glue Clear.
Okay,
Not
here.
only does Flex Glue's powerful adhesive hold the entire glass boat together, but its incredible formula is virtually invisible, so you can see right through.
It's a floating
Look at
casserole
all these
dish.
beautiful colors. Now that's Flextastic.
Okay, there's a little. There he is in the glass boat.
Flextastic.
That's the glass boat from Flex Seal.
You know that when they were filming this commercial, like the insane cost of production is.
He's in the Caribbean.
Yeah,
or the
that's,
Keys.
That's
or-
Key West. Yeah, it looks
he-
like
I mean, you can tell by the water. And now,
Yeah.
the one thing they did get right is they didn't go to a freshwater lake and put in the clear boat because they knew you
Yeah.
can't see the brown fish with the dog food.
Oh, you know how much money they had to fly all the whole production team. There's a sound guy. There's an editor.
Oh, there's another boat out there. There's got to be a couple
Oh, yeah.
boats.
There's
out there.
3 PAs.
There's a drone for sure because that last shot was a drone
Aerial
shot.
shot.
Yeah, there's like 15 people that you have to put up in hotels, and like just that seat alone probably cost them $30,000 easy.
Oh, yeah.
like it's insane. I remember
They probably spent just on the man hours of making the boat, which is very easy. I know you and I could fumble our way through it. Probably like 5 G's just to make the boat. They put an engine on the back of it,
yeah,
and they had to
yeah.
make sure it would hold that.
Yeah.
His wardrobe, you got to count that in there. Makeup, you got to have
Yeah.
a makeup lady on site
Plus,
or guy.
yeah.
Or guy. I'm just being
you need a professional engineer to put that boat together so it doesn't fall apart. Your whole, if you're spending $30,000 to fly your whole team down, you got to make sure that you get a backup one that's not flex sealed, like just in case, just for the shot. It's insane. Like people never think about the cost, the insane cost of these commercials and like anything. Remember when Crime Line, Detective Barb paid for a Crime Line commercial that we
I was
were
part of
actors
it.
in?
You were a drug dealer and I was a drug buyer.
I don't think I even was in it.
Yeah, you were in it.
well,
You were
did
the driver.
Did I drive up and buy drugs?
I bought the drugs.
Oh, yeah, I sold the drugs.
You were the drug dealer. Yeah, that's how it works. You never bought drugs before. And he's like, wait a minute, which way does it go?
Usually I go.
So the drug dealer pulls up, and then you hand him your drugs, and he gives you money.
I'm more of a drive to Publix or Walmart parking lot, and then the drug dealer gets in my car in the passenger seat, and then you do the drug dealer.
No, I do. I always did.
Butler went with me one time.
You guys.
That's why I was laughing.
I always
then
did.
Bumbly Butler pulls up next to the guy,
Butler?
and I'm like, no, he's gonna kill you.
It's a setup.
Like you're blocking him in.
Yeah, that's a sting.
I told you to
It's a
stay
pit
back.
maneuver.
Stay back by the goddamn air compressor. you're blowing it. You're gonna spook him away.
I used to go door to door like highway patrol.
Oh yeah,
You go door to door
that's
fast.
That's how I used to pay my bookie.
Yeah, and you
door
go
to door.
money. You go money and weed, and then you drive. And sometimes we didn't even want to stop. It was like, all right.
I was less afraid with the bookie because I felt like just exchanging large amounts of cash without any drugs in the car. Like it would be a hard case to they wouldn't be like, it's all done online. They would never prove that he's a bookie. It would
Okay,
just
I've
be
never
like,
told this story
question.
before. Probably not a good one to tell on radio, but hey, you guys like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I had my old house,
Yeah.
just down the road from here. In my garage, remember I used to have like all the crazy posters and stuff, and it's where I worked on my scooters.
Yeah.
It's like my happy place. In there, I had hot glued one of those manila envelopes.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like the big manila envelope with the red rope tie
Yeah.
that circles around. You use them for legal documents and stuff. I had one left over from like taxes or like maybe some x-rays that I got done. And I hot glued it to the wall, and that back door of my garage would stay open. It couldn't lock. And I would have my drug dealer come, and I'd put the money in the envelope, and he'd take the money out, and then he'd put
that's
the
good.
drugs
Efficient.
in the envelope, and then he'd tie it up so then no one would ever know. You just saw this manila envelope just sitting there, but it was really glued to the wall, and that's how I'd get my marijuana.
Yeah, the back before the old times.
Yeah. Now I just go to the doctor.
Just go right there.
Imagine
in the store
that.
and everywhere. Ridiculous. Like
Ridiculous.
That you made you buy your weed that way. It was stupid.
Drug dealer's name, what he was known as? Harvey Birdnose. True story.
No! Oh, no. I thought that's 17.
My God, you just blew my ears out.
What happened? You scared the hell out of me.
I thought I was 17. I thought we went too long again. We have a habit of going too long. And anyway.
One more.
One
We got
more.
time for one more.
Okay. Hey, Tom, Dan, Sam, and Butler. I haven't heard Dan mention watching wrestling in a while, but I was wondering what he thought of AEW, and more specifically, the story that the wrestler MJF gave a kid the middle finger right to the kid's face in front of his dad and everything. There is, of course, outrage online, but personally, I find it hilarious. Old man thing to say, but back in the day, wrestlers never broke character.
K-Fab.
There is a story of the Wild Samoans not breaking character to such an extent it almost got them, and I believe Hulk Hogan, arrested. I think nowadays wrestlers try to be more fan-friendly and break character all the time to appease fans, so I find this great that he didn't want to break character. Anyway, just wondered what you guys thought on it. Love the show, One Leg BDN.
This might surprise you, even though I have kids. I'm totally okay with it. I think
I'm
that
okay with it, too.
If you're a bad guy,
He was like 7 years old, too. Like, it's
But
not
also,
you're a
like, you
3-year-old.
watch the show, you watch wrestling,
Yeah.
you know what the characters are, you know how they behave.
And
if
they're
you
a
let your
little
kids
edgier.
watch them,
Yeah.
then you know what their
But you're
behavior's
not going to
like.
have like a John Cena or somebody do that, and you're not going to have, but also you probably would never find that in WWE just because they are way more about kids and the fan experience. They don't want any bad press. AEW, different product, so I support it.
older.
I remember my dad getting into a shouting match with a wrestler when me and my dad and his friend David Martin were watching at like Eddie Graham Sports Pavilion. It's the one where my dad cussed out the guy, then stood behind David Martin. Is a good friend of our family. He was like 6'8". My dad would start these fights and then get behind the big guy and be like, "Come on, man!" Like it was fun.
It's
We-
as
man,
Florida as it gets.
Yeah,
arguing with a wrestler at a
so fun, man.
some gym.
Yeah, and my dad knew it was fake, but he had fun. It was like a fun.
Yeah. And
it was really, really fun. I'm pro that. I like the fact that they stay in character because it's no different than any type of stage production that you see, and I always like them better when the people stay in character from the beginning of the performance to the absolute very end of the performance. That's what you paid for.
Also, he gave him a middle finger. It's not like he. I was talking with Jay about this when we were golfing over the weekend. Jay, the announcer.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
getting
Oh,